All right, this is the Eagle Point Community Development District Board meeting. It is Thursday, December 4th, 2025, and it's approximately 5 p.m. And we can start, I'll call the meeting to order, and if we can have a roll call starting immediately to my right, if you want to state your name for the record, and we can go around the table.
William Hathaway.
Ron Berkowitz.
Martin Fudali.
Rabah.
Gagne.
And I'm Andy Mendenhall, District Manager from CHI. As well, we have District Counsel on the Teams call.
Brian Camarino, District Counsel.
Okay. And I'm not sure, we may have a representative from your engineering firm on the line as well.
Yep, my name is Andrew Manson. I'm from Alliance Engineering.
Okay, welcome, Andrew. And as well, Gary's here.
Thank you.
Made it through the traffic. All right. So item number 2 is statement from Chairman. Kevin, I didn't know if you had anything today.
I just want to mention that sometime tonight to fit it in. Another update from my wife and actually Rabah regarding some of the Christmas decorations that attempted to pull together for the amenity center in the area. It's kind of a fluid situation, so last meeting to be able to talk about some of the things that were purchased.
Okay.
She's not here at the moment to bring my daughter to her game, so
Gotcha.
sometime tonight.
Okay, fair enough. Item number 3 is supervisor request and audience comments on specific items on the agenda. Just a reminder, audience comments, we try to keep them to 3 minutes. I'll time and I'll give you a wave when we're at like 30 seconds, just so you know. And if you do have a question or a comment related to agenda items at this time, if you can state your name for the record and feel free to address any comments. So I'll look for any hands in the air if anybody has any comments or questions at this time. And we'll have, yes, sir.
I do. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jim Casement. I'm a Cape Report. I'm going to be direct because being vague would be a disservice to this community. The minutes for August 6th, September 4th, and September 18th were not recently simply corrected. They were rewritten in a way that consistently benefited the chair, protects the board, and targets specific residents, including myself and Rebecca Hathaway. Let's call this what it was. Not documentation, but narrative editing. Here's what the record shows. 1. Negative language targeting residents was added. The original GMS minutes contain no accusations of interruptions, no claims of escalated detentions, and no mention of potential police. All that appears only in the revised version. 2. Criticism of the board was softened or erased. Vendor resignations, attorney concerns, communication breakdowns, all significantly reduced or rewritten to remove any implication of leadership responsibility. 3. Entirely new flattering narratives was added for the chair. Suddenly we see expanded descriptions from Facebook screenshots, residents supposedly influencing resignations, and glowing language about management, vendors, none of which appeared in the original meetings. The board approved all these changes without ever seeing them before. You approved revised minutes that you never read. You rubber stamped changes that were never requested, and you allowed one person to reshape the official record without question. And you allowed, this is not oversight, this is not accountability, this is not leadership. And I want to be clear, the responsibility does not fall on one person, it falls on all of you. Chair may object to the revisions, but the entire board looked the other way and approved them. Chair's pattern of defensiveness is obvious. Any criticism, whether from residents, attorneys, or vendors, is met not with reflection, but with counterattacks, blame shifting, and rewriting the narrative in his favor. Good leadership accepts responsibility. This behavior shows the opposite. What I ask is very simple, that this board, independent supervisors, start acting like independent supervisors instead of applause sessions. Stop approving minutes you haven't read. Start protecting this community, not each other. And I say this in anticipation of what I anticipate comes next. Based on the chair's defensiveness, I fully expect he will try to argue against everything I just said. That's fine. Because unlike the revisions made to these minutes, I come with on this board who wants to see the truth for themselves, I have prepared a side-by-side comparison of the original minutes as presented by GMS and the revised version. I would be happy to provide a copy to any supervisor or resident in this room who wants one. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Yes, sir.
This is totally different, but my name is Michael Daly. I'm here with my tenant, Michael Whitby. They had a birthday party for their daughter at the pool. Had more people than they were allowed to have. I'll take partial blame for that. I think they were aware they weren't supposed to have a party. They were really acting innocently. I don't think there should be revoked for privileges. I think they know the right thing to do now. He showed up. He told me what's going on. I think we're on the right page. He's a solid guy. He's got a family and kids. So just wanted to speak on his behalf if you have anything to say. But he's a good dude. I think it's an honest mistake, and we'd appreciate you guys giving their amenity privileges back if that's possible.
Okay. Brian's on the line. He's district counsel, so I think you probably have a letter that he had sent out. So Brian, did you catch all of that? We have the.
I'm the owner of the house, and I got a tenant, Michael Whitby here too. He's a tenant, so.
Gotcha. So one of the folks that had.
Is this Mr. Whitby?
Yes.
Yeah, he's here.
Is this the Whitby property?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay, yeah. So a notice was sent out by our firm informing Mr. Whitby of the suspension and offering him an opportunity to attend today's hearing on the matter. He's more than welcome now to offer the testimony or evidence on his behalf as to why the suspension should be lifted or reduced, and then ultimately the board will decide how long the suspension to impose.
Okay. And Brian, he had pretty much.
If he wants to present any.
Yeah, so Brian, he had pretty much just, he had spoken to the board, so I think that's, at this point, the board would have the ability to, sit in judgment, so to speak.
That's correct.
So we'll turn it back over to the boards towards any action you might be interested in taking.
So you want to do that right now, just in this order? Or finish the public comment?
Yeah, were there any other public comments or questions at this time? Yeah, so I would recommend that we just move this up so you don't have to sit through the whole meeting and.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to supervise the request. Do this matter right now, and then after that it will be the landscaping because we have last time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you didn't have a party.
Yes.
I get it.
We had a party for my 9-year-old daughter.
Yeah. You keep the door open. Over 30 people. I mean, I understand it's Mike's policy to take it away or something, that's right.
Well, they're shocked they weren't supposed to have parties, but at the end of the day, it's I'll take partial blame now. I think that he's a solid dude. He made a mistake. I don't think he trashed the place. I don't think he goes around the neighborhood and tries to do anything profane. So I think it's just an honest mistake, and I think he'll learn from it and move forward. And I think he's solid enough dude that he knows that was something that was done wrong. And if you guys give him a chance for him and his family to enjoy the amenities like everybody else here, I think that he'll abide by what you guys want him to do. Rules.
Just show us.
So, I would strive for consistency, especially where we have so many critics, for us as a board. And one of the closest situations, almost identical that happened in the past, was one of the 4 that we actually fined and considered it the most grievous of offenses that we have seen so far. But there is a big difference, I will say, in the party itself. A huge difference. This was a party, family and kids. No other real disruptive behavior where the original party, in addition to having the door open for 8 hours and everyone coming in and out, which is very troublesome in this case, but the other one, alcohol all around, parking lot, pool, whatever. It's a completely different scenario. And both were actually cleaned up at the end as well. So the difference that we have here is that they come, which the others did not. And the nature of the thing was great. It's just not something that we allow because you can't have more than 4 guests. And so the reason we have that policy is not to prevent, someone from having an innocuous family party. It's that if you have 395 homes who all decide to show up and have 30 people on the same day, the place would be overrun. So that's where the 4 guest thing was
I don't know
established.
if you know that you can rent this home for parties.
So, maybe like maybe a month prior to that, we did rent this specific room for a baby shower. I was unaware that we weren't allowed to have a little kids party out here. That's my fault, leaving the door open. I take full responsibility. Won't happen.
How long is the suspension?
So I have a question. So, the door was left open, right? Last time, the door was left open, and it wasn't just that other party that came in, it was also other residents and stuff. So, is it the same situation, the door was left open for hours unattended?
It was over 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and the problem is there was so much back and forth through that open door. It's impossible to tell who was with the group and who wasn't with the group and who came in separately. Impossible. And also, there were several instances during the duration where people from the group let in others through the front door. Just see people at the front door, open it up, and let them in.
Were there any instances from those other people coming in? Like any occurrences or anything?
I actually believe that 1 or 2 of the outstanding reports we have are associated with someone who came in that was let in by this particular group. But that in and of itself, coming in at the door, even if you have a valid credential, without swiping it is a violation in and of itself. Whether or not, there's been so many things the board has not heard about in just the past month. It's crazy. It's like things are exploded here again all of a sudden.
Right.
Over 8 documented situations with interchangeable connections and whatever, and it hasn't all been sorted out into the reports yet to get before you guys yet. So, but again, nothing really serious has happened.
And as I said at the top of my stuff, they showed up. The landlord showed up, the tenant showed up, and they didn't, I'm not trying to argue, they said we did it, and, at the end of the day, we're all humans, we do mistakes, nobody knows. So to make long story short, that we should just vote in.
Well, Martin asked the question, how long is the suspension been? So it was shut off pretty much shortly after seeing the incident and documenting the report for Kai, the draft report for Kai to review. So that was probably, those around Thanksgiving weekend, I think. It's probably 2 weeks.
About
from
that,
now.
yeah.
2 weeks. It's been effectively suspended for 2 weeks.
Do you guys want to take any other actions?
Well, as you said, it's consistency. Is there another situation that's almost identical? Can't be, it's not gonna be 100%, but very close, that if you looked at a situation that we had, I don't say a rule, but an understanding whether we find someone or suspend them,
Yeah.
and you looked at this, you took all names away, and you just wrote down facts, and they're the same, it should be the same outcome.
The only other time we have had someone come before the board at one of these hearings and gave them time served, we called
Yeah.
it, because it was just, whatever time they waited till the meeting occurred,
Right.
was people that let others in. And by that, it was a single, either in passing on the way out, opening the door while someone else went in. We look at it a little bit differently. Sometimes it's awkward as you're leaving. People don't want to tell someone, don't come in. And it's their first time, and so on. That was done multiple times during the 4 hours, in addition to the I don't know what the total number of violations is, but it's not a single. I don't have the number in front of me, but it's the number of people, it's the letting others in, it's the propping open of the door, and so on and so forth. So myself, I would be inclined to extend suspension for some period of time that we would agree upon, but that's just me.
Suggestion, from a decision point, the way I would look at it is you have, in my opinion, 3 decisions that you could make. Obviously, you could say, okay, thank you for coming, we're not going to do anything more reinstate things. The next scenario would be, okay, they've come before you, explain the situation, obviously, sorry for the situation, and you say, okay, well, so we do a limited, a minor suspension, 30 days or something like that. Or you go with what might be typical that I've seen in districts, and you say, rules are rules, we're gonna go with the full extent, and maybe that's 60 or 90 days. So I think that's really, from my perspective, how maybe you wanna look at it, and determine, okay, well, what bucket do we think this falls into?
Alright, so it's been suspended for 2 weeks?
About that,
So far,
yeah.
2 weeks, are you guys good with it, extend that into other weeks?
I would be fine with, personally, I guess I'd be fine with adding 2 other weeks, given that they've come, and I hardly expect that there would be any violations from them in the future. I don't get that impression at all. So, I think that would be fair, and it couldn't be said that I think that this is inconsistent, because we didn't have any sense of where the others were coming from. They never responded to any of the post-violation, letters as well, to speak for themselves.
Alright, so I'm gonna put a motion to it, to add 2 weeks for suspension.
Do I just say 30 days total, just make it clean?
Yeah, everybody's total again. No fine. Just keep it that way.
Okay. And do we have a second to that particular motion?
I'll second.
Okay, any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Can you just tell them the exact day, so we don't have any issue?
Yeah, I can, I'll go ahead and reach out to you and give you the exact day. I don't know offhand, just because I don't have the dates in front of me, but basically it would be 30 days in total, so we can do that.
Whatever you guys tell us first time. Thank you. We're good?
Yeah.
Thanks, have a good night, you guys.
You too.
Appreciate it.
Andy, when we get to, Brian, lawyer
Mhm.
time, I wanna fill in the board a little bit on some of the discussions. I think they've gotten at least one email
Yeah.
of Q&A between me and Michelle about amending the policy and fines and all of that stuff. But, I need to, talk about that stuff.
Yeah, no problem. We can do that when we get into the attorney report and whatnot. So that will take us to, do we want to jump into the landscaping?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a fair amount of landscaping proposals, some of them from the last meeting for everybody to review. So we didn't have time last time, and a couple new ones that I've passed out as well in front of you. There are 2 proposals there. We also have representatives from your landscaping firm. So I guess to work through this as efficiently as possible, I didn't know first if our landscaping consultants, if they had anything they wanted to say, or if we're going to dive right into the proposals.
No, I think just any questions that you guys had regarding the estimates that we're prepared to answer any questions or any changes that you guys want to make, ready to move forward.
Okay.
So the proposals we have here, 2 of them already were voted in. It's the irrigation one, so just repeated in the agenda.
Okay.
So those ones are out. The ground rating for $1,600 already done.
Yep.
The other one for $3,000, $3,500 replacing the heads. That
Yep.
was already done too. Well, anyway, before we call, so this is the first time in, how old is this community? 5 years? We have a fully functional irrigation system. Everything is working like it's supposed to. And yesterday we received irrigation map as well. I sent it to you, Andy.
Yep.
Yesterday,
I've got to send that out to everybody, but I have it, yes.
We need to save it to other, or you guys will save it.
Oh, yeah.
to the references, yeah. So the irrigation issue is done. We have a couple, proposals here, for a couple things. Clubhouse and so on. So this one, the first one here, it's like, remember when we talked about like adding, rotors here? Playground. It's for $800 and 14.
What page are you on, Rabah?
It would be,
29.
yeah, Exhibit 3.
Sorry, thank you.
So that's for $800. We have additional irrigation to cover up, because the grass goes in the doorway, change the color, but you have
so to be clear,
Yeah.
there's irrigation there now. We're just putting 5 rotors on there to hit the grass, because we walk past and see it's not being irrigated. Okay.
Yeah, you guys have like, bubblers, which is like
Yeah.
trippers that are on the palm trees, so we would tie into that line there.
Okay.
This is gonna be the area in back.
And that's enough pressure?
There should be no pressure.
Okay.
So, just as a suggestion, as we go through these, do you want to make a motion to approve, get a second, and then we'll get into discussion? That way we make sure we're kind of protocol wise.
Well, to be honest, we all can sit here and read these.
Hmm?
I don't know where or what they're referring to.
Well-
So I needed,
Yeah, no, I guess my point was to have a motion on the floor that we're considering it before we start talking about it. Just procedural, you know.
So, what do you got?
Well, I think what we've done in the past is each exhibit that is a different price, bring it up and mention what it is, and then have a motion to approve exhibit 1 or
Okay.
estimate 1, and then discussion if
Yeah.
there's any,
But
if he
yeah.
explains what it is. what-
Makes sense. Yeah, I guess my only concern was, and I know it might not be the case here, but sometimes I get in board meetings and we start talking, and then we're not even considering the proposal. But I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
so we're on the first one, and Mark
Yeah.
asked a question, or someone asked a question explaining what.
So what it is, I think, because there's a lot of them, there's some items, what we personally, I think, a couple of the proposals that we don't need. So, we have to talk about it, have it on. Anyway,
Fair enough.
running total.
So with this one, what do you guys think about this irrigation one?
Yeah, I remember we talked about it,
Yeah.
and we supported it.
So I'm gonna have, should I motion every single one of them separately?
I would, yes.
Alright, so I'm gonna motion to approve this, irrigation tank for $800.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Seconded. And do we have any additional discussion on this particular item? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
So exhibit 4 will be done. Exhibit 5 will be done, that's the irrigation supply meeting. So no, we're not exhibit 6. So here we have, dead trees, removal of dead trees and replacement with new ones. The only one I'm not really interested in here, which for the $9,000 is the last item, it's, the bushes in the wall, outside and inside the wall, it's not. Inside the wall? Inside and outside, there's no need to do that, to be honest. I don't know about you guys, but we can use that money to improve other things. Because all that area was having irrigation issues, so now we have the irrigation running, let's give it time to see how it's gonna react.
But do we want the dead ones removed? Like the ones on the inside of the wall that we're saying are dead, we don't wanna replace them, but we want them removed. Why would we want dead ones instead? Unless we think there's like an outside chance they make it back or something, I don't know. I just think if we're gonna have everyone like do the work now, we're gonna vote for it and put out funds and resources to it, let's just be catch it all. So, we're gonna go off of their
A
recommendation.
lot of them, couple of them were dead, a lot of them, they were started.
So, I think if we should at least remove them.
So what do you guys think? To me personally, when it comes to this specific one.
You steal?
I mean, there are a lot of, well, the problem is, here's the thing. A lot of these are struggling because they haven't gotten water
That's what it is.
forever. So, some of them could start coming back.
But is it
once
gas?
the water.
Are we
Oh,
looking
oh,
at
there's
1 year?
there's gas, yeah, there's gas
So
everywhere in the property.
Is it
So-
better just to take them all down?
Probably. What would be, because obviously this is removal plus replacement. What would it be, what would be the cost just to remove, like some of
So,
these?
when you say remove, we want to just remove just the dead, or?
Yeah.
everything from
Did-
the-
Everything on the inside. that
Yeah,
doesn't-
remove-
that
remove
doesn't
all of
fit.
it, 'cause-
We don't wanna have like 3 and then a gap of 40 feet and then another 2.
That's about what it's
on
on.
Yeah.
Cause this was just to
That's my
remove
feeling.
the dead ones.
So,
and regret.
I think the best way to do it, just give it some time and see how it's gonna react with the irrigation. So we getting water now, so we don't know what it is. Yeah, this is irrigation. Yeah, the thing is, if you're gonna remove, you're gonna have to replace.
But do you have to replace
Yeah,
it?
you have to replace, it's gonna keep.
But then we have
like
huge
that.
gaps, so then we have to fill those gaps.
That's what I'm trying to say, if you remove, you have to replace. You cannot just, it's gonna look empty.
There's a few that are dead, and then there's quite a bit that are struggling because they didn't have water, but a lot of them are dead, but, so if you guys wanna give us some time to look at the ones that are kind of struggling, just take them down back.
No, I just want to be clear, I understand that and I agree with that. We have, I don't know how many hundred feet or how many yards or whatever, however we're measuring it out, of the wall that we have shrubs on the inside. We're saying where there's healthy ones, leave them. We're saying where there's dead ones, replace them, or leave them for now, they might come back. What about all the gaps? Are we gonna fill in the spots where there's
There's no spots now.
So when you walk the inside of the wall, you're telling me
There's
it's
no
completely
spots.
full?
There's a couple of empty
Couple of
spots.
them.
Yeah,
You want to
there-
fill
I mean,
it up?
there's spots, I mean,
Yeah.
some of it never took, and
My point is, if you're gonna leave them up and have the
it's
gaps,
gonna,
might as well
it's
just
gonna
take
be
them all down.
it's gonna be a hodgepodge unless you replace everything or.
That's my
remove
point.
one.
And if we're going, me personally, if we're gonna head to the point where we're gonna start replacing them, inside the wall specifically,
Yeah.
take everything down and put sod on it to be done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
I have some photos of this.
yeah, thank you.
This was when we first took over the property. It's not the whole wall, but it's a couple of
See what I'm
spots.
saying? It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
if you're
It's
gonna
sporadic.
keep, yeah, and it's thick here, and then it just gets like,
Because there's breaks in the irrigation, so that's why it's,
yeah.
or there's other water sources,
So
so some
you
have
want-
struggled,
I mean, we
some
can
have
just
died, some
Yeah.
have
See something come back,
disappeared.
yeah.
So that's what the irrigation does. Yeah. It's
It's
gonna be green in here, so all these sections are gonna be.
Yeah, some of them are gonna have to be removed,
Mhm.
if they don't come back, but it may not be
The entire thing, yeah. So, and then what about moving, what's more, what is that? What's more?
That's the big bushy ones, I mean, we don't have to have them. There's some that were removed
Those
before.
are the Japanese blueberry trees, the ones that you said, so we wanted to
Yeah.
the top, and you
Yeah.
said, they're those.
How many, we have 7 of them? So the only ones we have to replace is the oak
Oak.
trees.
Yeah.
So these ones too, I would say just, take them down and that's it. What do you guys think about that? I mean, to be honest, if you put another tree, it will be like, well, wow, there's another tree.
Oh, no, I can't, my 2 cents is, if we're gonna remove stuff, and we don't wanna replace it, that's fine. But if it shows like a gap,
Is that
all I'm
yet?
saying, that's,
Well, there's
we have to
no-
address that.
On the outside, it's not like there was this wonderful plant somebody put,
And then it died,
like
yeah.
3, 3, 3, 3, it's,
It's
Right.
not
it's
all
actually
that's
died
fine.
over time, but, so on these, and obviously, well, there's 7 on here. So, a year or 2 ago, there was a walkthrough with a previous landscape company, and one of the board members questioned whether some of these didn't have disease, and it was never treated by any previous landscape company. So some of the stuff that you guys are seeing that's dead, do you think it's just lack of water, or is there something else that impacted these that the question would be, if we replace it, it's the same potential issues? It's something ground or we're next to it that if we replace it, it's eventually going to kill that as well.
Our insight would be, the water would be the main issue, just because that was very bad. There was breaks everywhere, there was no pressure, and so that's generally the biggest issue that you guys had here. And so that.
Because that was a problem several years ago, that one box got hit by lightning, and then we didn't have irrigation at all for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that could have definitely killed it for sure.
So do you guys want removal only or remove and replace? And back to the wall. And that's inside the wall.
And it's
Uh,
just
outside.
top.
We're talking about the wax myrtles
Yeah,
now?
wax
or-
wall is it?
So myself, not knowing anything about landscaping, I would assume that the stuff that was there for some purpose, for some design, even if it was a hodgepodge. And I don't think no one ever complained when everything was fresh and vibrant and brand new, that the design was bad. They just complained when everything died. So I would say move and replace personally. Gary?
It's not a great time of year to plant right now.
Okay, good point. That's where you guys.
Winter's coming up,
Yeah.
and it could be a freeze, so I would not replant right now. I would wait for the warmer weather.
There is always an option we can do. We can do remove and see how they look like.
if it's too bad, you know, always have the option to plant. If it does look fine, it does look fine.
The winter will give you that time.
That's why Francisco's here, they always work with them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's ways around putting plants in now. There's like little salt that we put in plants during this time because we do plant several times throughout this weather. So it's like a salt that we install under the root system, and it's supposed to absorb water, and so that expands and keeps it moist enough for the roots to grow and for the plants to grow. So
It's a salt.
it's like a salt that they call it. It's called rotors,
Okay.
and it absorbs the moisture.
Okay.
So
So if we're gonna take that out, if you're gonna guarantee the tree, maybe we're gonna, you're not gonna do it?
yeah, so we guarantee our plants 30 or 60 days. Sorry, 60
What
days.
do you think, Gary?
The other thing I'll just add is, you know, a lot of, it doesn't seem too much in your community, but in other communities that we service, when a lot of snowbirds come down, they want to plant, they want things to look vibrant and nice, and so we do find that there's an uptick for us in January in particular. So we do, you know, it is a standard practice for us to also plant all year round. I'm not saying Gary's wrong by any means, but I'm also saying we have to do this for other communities as well when snowbirds come into town.
Oak trees, don't we have a time frame that those have to get replaced anyway? And I think the county is like, Manatee County is like 60 days.
If they were taken right, they're gonna be in trouble a long time ago.
Yeah, the oak trees are they're definitely more stricter on replacement. Those, if you take one out, you have to put one back in.
All right, so let's keep it simple. Let's replace, remove and replace them. That's the first one. The oak trees is the same thing, there's no question at all. There's 11 of them, replace, remove and replace, same thing.
When you replace them, you put mulch around them?
We don't.
Feed them, okay.
Japanese blueberry, which one is it?
Japanese blueberries, those are the ones that you have on the right side of your house. The ones that they shape up pretty. The green trees, long green trees.
How many of them? Two. What are they located at? I don't remember.
Exactly, on which location. They're on the outside of the wall.
They're on the outside?
On the outside. Yeah, these are on the outside of the wall.
So if we put all together replacing the outside wall, take them out and replacing is gonna be around $10,000.
So, we're just taking the 9408 off?
Yeah.
So the 1560, that's on the outside of the wall.
That's outside of the wall.
Outside of the wall too. So it would be the 9400 and 1500. Those are inside and the outside. Vibrators.
So it's like 8,500.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say the outside it's more of an aesthetic.
Yeah.
And just to keep everything the same, looking nice and pristine, the inside definitely we could probably get away with, and you guys don't think we've had complaints, but the outside is the 1500.
So we just remove the 94.
Just remove the 94, do all the rest of it, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, Gary.
Just so you understand, if there is a cold freeze, they won't warranty the plant. It's an act of God. Just so you know.
Are you guys or not?
If it's within the 60 days, we'll replace it.
Okay.
Good call.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing with the trees and the taller shrubs is I think those were also designed with the idea of over time trying to help block some of the
The
road
sun.
noise as well.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So we're moving the 9400 and motion to approve of the rest of it.
Okay, so this is Exhibit 6.
Yes, sir. Sure.
yes.
It is 6, yeah.
All right, and we're removing 9400.
And again, approve the rest.
Okay, so that is a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded. And let me just add one question at least, just being new to here. So for this project, which is the larger of the ones we have for landscaping, where do you want us to take those funds out of? You do have some dollars extra dollars in your landscaping contract line item because your contract is less than you budgeted for, we can certainly do that if everybody's good with that. I just wanted to put it on your radar.
So we budgeted $25,000 for irrigation last year, and we spent only $5,000 so far. Am I
Okay.
right?
I'm looking right now. Sorry.
So when we're done with all these, we'll have a running total of what we want to spend.
You're correct.
I'm correct?
Yeah.
So we were still in budget, basically.
Oh, you're still in budget. I guess my main thing is I just want to make sure that when we're coding these, we get them to the right spot, and also so as we go along the year, I can tell you if we're getting to a red line or anything like that. That's all. I wanted to get the feel for how you guys want to handle it.
You guys good with taking from the irrigation? Because we can always move money. Okay.
All right. So we had a motion, we had a second, we had some additional discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
All right, exhibit 7. This is the trimming one, right? Follow me, Francesco? Are we on the same page?
Which estimate number is it?
Estimate number is 5981.
Okay, I got it.
All right, this is the pool area here? Yeah, I think so, yeah. Trimming and stuff?
Yep.
All right?
Yes.
I mean, no doubt, we need to trim all these trees around the Mendenhall.
Yeah.
To other question. The total comes to $2,700.
So there's 4 lines on here. The first one is for the trees to be trimmed. Where are those? It says 43 sidewalk.
So the same palm trees are.
Are you talking even
Like
inside the
these?
dog?
Well,
Are-
like all these over here by the mail
I
kiosk.
believe there's 3 or 4 that are at the entrance on the canal.
Yeah.
So all those same palm trees on property.
Okay.
So it sticks between here and the entire property, right?
Okay, making sure.
43 of them.
Yep.
A quick question for you. When these trees are starting to obstruct some of the camera views, and we're talking about trimming them, again, I don't know anything about trees and how and what, where you cut them and whatever. Well, I just mean like, you're doing this with these guys, and you could pull up the view on your camera. You'll notice that some of them, used to be a view across, and now it's a view maybe a little bit with all of this in front of it. And which half the time you're looking for something, it's up here instead of where you can see.
So how far, those ones by the camera specifically, how far we can trim?
I mean, the palm trees are pretty bulletproof, so we can trim them as much as we want, but typically what we trim is at a 10-2 level.
What is that, 10 to?
I guess like if you're looking at a water clock.
Okay, all right.
It's pretty severe.
So those ones, specific ones they have, so I want to make sure
We can check those out.
We check the specific ones.
Yeah, you notice when you flip through our views,
Yeah.
it's mostly from over there, looking over there, are the ones they see the biggest trouble.
No problem. All right, so are you guys good with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to approve exhibit 7, is it separate?
Yes, it's 7.
7.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And then you have your Exhibit 8, which is for the overgrown wax myrtles.
So this one was it already in the first proposal? Wasn't it? Not part of the beginning?
Cut a piece.
Yeah.
Which one?
Estimate 5982.
So this is to the trimming on top.
On the
This
top
is
of
just
it?
the top.
So the first one was just on the side. Am I right? First we put it on.
The first one was
First
removed.
one was
removed.
Oh.
There. First one's just-
Do you guys, is it, how many do you have?
There's quite a bit.
Roughly.
This says 43.
So are we talking,
It's
we're talking about the big ones, right?
Oh, the big ones, yeah.
So
It's
this
on front
estimate,
boulevard on
this
the-
estimate is to trim the top
Yes, and the sides.
and the sides.
Yeah. It'll take in line.
What do you guys think, 2100?
That's fine.
Good. Alright, motion to approve it.
Okay, do we have a second? Any additional discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. So-
Proposal 5992. Alright, go ahead.
So, alright, there's, a lot of it's pretty much just areas that are bare and plants that are dead and regressed. So this would be to strictly keep everything the same, just to fill in the areas that are regressed and dead plants removed and replaced.
So, we're talking about the legislation here. I don't think that.
Well, is there an ordinance or something that we have to have stuff around it?
No, there was a fence and that's it.
That's all we need?
Yeah.
Usually just done for screening,
Yeah.
aesthetics.
Yeah, but, I mean,
So
I don't know what's there total, but, you know, a magnolia tree, pine trees, that's
That's
not
not
really
blocking it.
providing much.
No, that doesn't sound like
much
it.
blockage around that type of thing.
So, if that's the case, because I have a project in there, there's been a couple of things we need to focus on. I would definitely skip this one and have a better plan, because I'm going to do just go for this amenity center as well. If we're going to put shrubs, or we need to put something, beautiful, that's going to last for a long time as well, So, me, I'm not accepting this one, so I don't know, it's up to you guys.
So, but I have a question. You're saying they're remove and replace because they're dead. So if we don't want to replace them, we should at least remove the dead. We don't want to leave dead stuff up.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
So, can you look at 5992 and just tell us the price for removal, no replace? And if you guys need time to do that, that's fine, but.
Yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
just revise and send it back.
All right.
So we'll punt on this one.
So we'll
Come back.
queue that up for the next
Yeah.
meeting if that works.
Thank you.
Exhibit
This is
10,
no.
which is proposal Francisco 5999.
Oh, this was the second entrance, the big one?
Second,
Oh, no, not it.
it's a mix.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one, same thing, it's pretty much removing and replacing, filling in bare areas, which is a lot of this front area, the pool, or the pool of the clubhouse, anything that surrounds this community here, this property.
Okay.
Yeah, removing, replacing, using the same plant material that you guys have here to keep the same look.
Now, these are areas though where there wasn't an irrigation finish, right? The irrigation started working. No? Oh, okay. Cause I'm like, okay, so that's why they're dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are several breaks everywhere.
So, is this estimate, there's 3 trees are dead here, is one of them, is it there?
Yes.
Okay, so those trees need to, because they look so bad, I think we need to replace only those also for the moment, and we do the rest later. Because again, there's, I wanna have a project ahead for the entire learning center. What do you guys think?
So what are you saying?
Just replace the dead trees. There was 3, how many of them, Francesco?
There's one single palm tree here, there's a foxtail double trunk there in the corner. And the rest are at the ditch station there.
So the palm tree, I would suggest just cut it down and that's it. A palm tree like, how, what is it like?
We got pine trees that are dead too.
9 tree here? This is-
Pine.
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 Pine tree.
Yeah, right out front here, there's like 3 of them dead.
Yeah, that's.
That's what was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I would definitely take down the dead palm tree in the side of the building. There's no point to replace it, to be honest, but if you guys want to replace it with a new one, that's up to you. Me, I don't think it's needed, to be honest. But the trees by the lift stations, there's I think 3 or 4 of them. They need to be replaced, good dead. They need to be replaced, because if you take them, it's gonna look empty, it needs to be replaced. I think for the moment, that's the only 2 things I want to do here. And this is just,
Yeah, if you guys just wanna cut this one out,
Uh-huh.
for now, we can revise that. Same thing like with the amenity, all the dead trees and plants that are there, we can revise that to just remove for now.
which one? No, the trees that need to be replaced.
Okay.
The big trees,
Yeah.
3 of them, those ones need to be
So do,
out and put new ones.
so do we need a revised proposal or do we want to try to?
We revise it.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
Well,
Good.
I just want, not knowing anything about landscape, I'm concerned about, just not removing dead and replacing. I just will we not have areas that start to have just, they're no longer a design, it's just a bunch of missing plants and some plants, and a bunch of missing plants and some plants, instead of putting back what was there, unless someone says there was a flaw in why it was there, or in the design that it was not aesthetically pleasing. Why are we not removing and replacing things now that we've got our landscaping irrigation system?
The only one we're gonna replace it, we said, is the palm tree. The rest of them are replace and remove and replace. You wanna replace the palm tree?
What palm tree is
What you building?
the one on the dead one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is the dead one?
right next to
Those block cameras.
That's a dead one.
The one right on the other side of the screen
Yeah, that's the one.
play area or whatever, it's.
I mean, there is one, and the dead one, and then another one. They're not even like shaped like steady. They just throw it there, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think you all's recommendation, my only concern, like I said, is, if we have the budget,
So
remove things and replace them, unless there's a reason not to.
a palm tree like that is costly.
Yeah, okay, I mean,
How much you think?
it's an individual tree, that's,
probably close to 1,000, a little more than that. Just for the
Huh? For a tree, yeah.
it's one that's along the footprint of the building, is that what you're saying?
It's
Right
really
at the
by
building.
the screen that keep getting quick.
Yeah, those block,
Yeah.
those
So
provide
that
cover.
one we just take it down.
Any
Any other suggestions?
I mean, on this, the vegetation around the clubhouse has struggled for years. Previous landscapers have said some of it probably wasn't the best choice. So, what's your guys' opinion? Some of this, should we remove and put something different in? Or do you think that it has been just mainly an irrigation issue, that what's there could survive and could look good had it gotten adequate water?
I think it's a mix of both. There's plants that always get too much funguses and diseases, and some plants are just put in the wrong place, some are trade tolerant, and they're in full sun, and so it's just a mix of both, you know, there's irrigation issues, and then that's that wrong plant, wrong place.
And that's why I said we should, that one, we keep the Melody Center, it's a project by itself. And so if we do it, we're gonna do it twice in one time, and that's it. I mean, it's not like we're in a rush. We can always work, me and him, we can always work on it, like probably this month, have a proposal to add stuff. So my plan is the amenity center and the second entrance. Those ones need attention. So what are we doing now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take your recommendation on what parts of this you want to do with the bigger picture in mind that I don't have.
Yeah, so here, as I said, those trees will need to be replaced, take down the palm tree, don't worry about it, and keep it as it is right now, and then start working on like, who's gonna revise this? Revise that, yeah, and it's gonna give us time to, add in more plans. Yeah, exactly. So we just table this one?
We'll queue this one up? Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Real quick before, one of the items on here, the last one, is the crushed shell. That's like supposedly an emergency turnaround. So, is there something better to use there than crushed shell?
I mean, there is, that's the most cost, the best cost to you guys, and that's gonna be the cheapest route.
So, how
You
about,
do gravel, pea gravel, or.
how about, you just keep these up? Keep looking at that, that's it. It's not like,
Does it have to, that's the first question.
no,
Does it have to be filled in with the emergency turnaround?
No.
No, it used to be dirt. We
Dirt.
put the shells and the rocker on it to make it not look like a unfinished construction site.
Yeah.
Okay.
do you want to do anything with that?
I mean,
That's just.
I didn't notice that it looked like it needed more, you know?
Yeah, there's like, there's no show.
Yeah.
There's some, but.
So wherever you're gonna put that, it's gonna be, same thing.
Yeah.
And what is the point of putting landscaping blocks? And then you have.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So that one completely out. Alright.
So you've got the unwanted vegetation cutting at the marked areas, exhibit 11.
That's the one by my house. It shows the picture of the orange side. Basically, there was a lot of growing stuff that and really, it's like some trees and it's not,
I know,
it doesn't even make sense.
no.
And what I mentioned to Joe is, doing that, when removing anything from there, I need to, treat any weeds or any unwanted stuff, because that's what's causing the blockage for our drainage. And after we do that, we need to get an estimate for, unclogging the drains.
Hmm.
So I would say, yeah, $1,500, I would approve that.
Okay, so do we have a second to that particular motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
Now here, we're talking about, estimate 6075, which is the same thing in Moonsail. See how the one next to my house is the one down to it? That needs to be done because we have a drain issue over there as well. It needs to be clean. So we're talking about this one, just to make sure it's the we're talking about it from Moonsail to the cul-de-sac, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah, just make sure. Yeah, that needs to be done, you know what we're talking about? What the drain is?
Yes, yeah.
So, a motion to approve that as well for $2,500.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion? Okay. Any additional discussion on that particular one? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries.
Alright, estimate 6076, because there is a dead country if you come from the main entrance. I drove earlier, it seems, I was talking to, it seems there was some green on the top of it, so I said, just trim the dead ones, so let's see what's gonna happen. So we're gonna table this one too, we don't need it for the.
Table it? Okay, got it.
We need it, let's see what happens down the road.
Do you want me to put that on the next agenda or table it for?
We see how the country's gonna react to it.
Okay,
Just keep an eye on it, right? Yeah.
no problem.
One thing though, since I have, since, as I said earlier, I'm trying to focus on that Mendenhall Center and the second entrance. I would like you guys to approve a certain amount of money, for me, because I'm gonna have to approve it for them to do the job. I'm gonna come with a plan in Francisco, with the kind of trees and stuff, we'll submit a proposal, so I can have the shot to hey, just go ahead and do it, instead of waiting to the next meeting.
So if we could just get an idea of what we have for money.
Yeah.
So like right now, give or take, we just, and minus the 370, we pretty much just approved just over $22,000.
Okay.
Okay? Well, we have that, right? From,
Yeah.
so it should be okay. So, it's tough without a running, spreadsheet in front of us to say what's available for Rabah, what he's speaking on now, to say what's a good
Yeah.
number to approve. I mean, do we have a guesstimate of how much we have budget for?
So here's the way I would look at it. There's a couple ways you could look at it. Number one, you have the 25,000 that was in irrigation, so you have those dollars, which you really haven't used that much of at this point, and this will fix a lot of the irrigation that would hopefully keep those costs down as you go through the year. As well, for your landscaping contract, you had budgeted 150,000. I think their budget or their yearly cost of regular maintenance is somewhere around 130,000, roughly, give or take, if I remember correctly. I think it's like, yeah. So you have dollars there. You also have a miscellaneous contingency line item that you can use, which you haven't really done that much with this year. And then finally, you have reserves on your budget, your operating funds, which you can use as the year goes on. It just means less would go into the reserves at the end of the year.
Sure.
Or if you had to, let's just say disaster happens and you're at the limits of your budget, you also have reserves that sit on your balance sheet. So you have some dollars there.
Plus the HOA, 52,000?
That's contingency, isn't it? Is that where you put it?
So tell me about the HOA.
$52,000 we get from HOA.
When
Okay.
did we get that?
Last,
So that would be in fund balance. Anything from last year's budget we didn't use just rolls
supposed to be
into
there,
fund.
yeah.
Absolutely correct. So the second figure that I mentioned, which was, I call it reserves, but it's undesignated cash basically that's on your balance sheet.
We have a
Yeah, it doesn't have
guesstimate of how much we're
No.
talking about?
We also have-
Well, it's a little bit, the problem is it's a little bit ambiguous at this time because we're only in really the second month of actuals for the year. So I could say, you got 80% of your budget, but you don't really. Now, if we say if you spend on track with everything, you're still ahead of the game right now, mainly because of your landscaping line item for your contracted amount, the 150, as well as the irrigation, and that's just on your operating budget, and you're ahead of the game in your fund balance because of this 52,000.
So, all right, I won't just do it in the way there, because if we're gonna do the entrance and the managed center one shot, I don't think it's gonna be that much trees, not trees, shrubs. I would say, just to be safe, 15K, which we can never exceed the number, just so you know.
Well, then, I mean, is that also the back entrance?
Yeah, that's what I'm,
That's-
the back
yeah.
entrance and the amenity center.
To me, if you said 50K, I thought it'd be
15.
more line than
50?
No, I'm just saying, the back
Well,
is terrible.
Yeah, I know,
You know, like-
so my plan is, we already talked saying, there is no way we're gonna reach even $15,000
Are we
between the
gonna-
both
are
of
we
them.
gonna put
I'm
lights
assuming,
in?
am I right? Don't make me.
Are we gonna do lights? Are you gonna talk about putting lights on the trees?
Yes, actually, they just offered
Okay,
this
alright,
service, so I
that's
did talk
fine.
to Larry, so, yeah, that's, okay, just, 15, are you guys good with 15,000? Me having the button?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
So we would just need a motion for that. You would authorize.
Can I motion my own?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can.
motion.
Yeah, I mean, the vote's what counts,
Yeah.
so. So if you want to make that motion, let me just get that down real quick. All right, so the motion, as I understand it, is to authorize the vice chair to have a not to exceed of $15,000 for landscape enhancements at the clubhouse and the
second,
But that doesn't mean
second entrance.
that we stop at 15. It means that's all you're authorized to
That's
spend.
you do,
Right,
yeah,
but they came back and said it was, I'm making up a number, 50, and we all loved it and wanted to do 50, we would vote for that. But you can only go up to 15.
Yeah, it could potentially come back. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a motion. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded. And now, any additional discussion or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Is that all the landscaping?
That's it.
That is it.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Just because I think we have a vendor here for the epoxy proposal.
Yeah.
Do we want to jump into that
Yes,
while he's
yes,
here?
please, yes, yes.
So, and this was included in your package as well, so really up to you as a board to make the decision. And of course, if you have any questions, you've got representation here to talk about it.
So to make it easy for us to make a decision, I did call him yesterday.
What's that?
I did call you yesterday? Yeah, and I asked for him to prepare a sample for us.
Okay.
So I have an idea, do you have the sample?
I don't have samples, we were working all day. I have some swatches for you guys and just some information to kind of give you guys.
Alright. So the main concern is, we were talking, me and you yesterday, you said this is the best option for, to prevent. slip. When you said like slip resistant, what is the percentage talking about?
Did you guys talk yesterday too?
No.
Was it different vendor?
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
So basically, the system, I can show you guys. So to do this properly, basically, we need to grind back down to bare concrete to profile it. I don't know if white paper is used or anything like that, so to do it properly, to make sure that I know it's somebody that's gonna last, basically grind everything down, bare concrete. I'll show you guys the system here. So basically, here's your concrete. We profile it to basically give it the right texture and open up the concrete to accept the epoxy. We use a moisture vapor barrier that can withstand up to 25 pounds of moisture pressure. Basically, you put that down, it goes down a certain spread rate, which is where the foot. Flake goes into it, it's a fast drain system, that gets straight clean and polyaspartic top coat. So polyaspartic is stronger as a top coat, and then it won't amber and yellow over time like epoxy will. And then basically non-slip additive gets put into the top.
What is that?
It's like a grate that gets mixed into.
Is it
the-
aluminum or anything?
The stuff we use is not, it's a little different. It's not as coarse, so it's not gonna be scraping up pieces of stuff.
Well, and when it comes to, when you saw the area, when it comes to like, is it like, let's say somebody comes up from the pool,
Okay,
gets to
cool.
this area, what is the chance
I'll
of
get
it slip?
It's not slippery at all. I mean, we use this on pool decks all the time.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you You guys are.
Is there only one vendor for that?
I don't know, there's another one.
Oh.
You guys are with this one.
I'm Lawrence, Performance Stores and Coding.
So, Lauren, I was talking to you yesterday then. No.
You know what? I thought it was Gary that called me.
No, I asked
I
you.
thought it was Gary.
I contacted him both.
Which one of you did I ask for?
You asked me first.
I have some samples too, I can show
Yeah, I got
both of us.
Yeah.
That would be appreciated if you can do that.
Absolutely, so kind of give you guys an idea a little bit, you know, so what we do typically, same thing, concrete coatings. I'm gonna second to a lot of what he said. Ultimately, there's a coating out there that's failing, right? The reason it's failing could be a couple reasons. It could be poor prep, right? It could be moisture. It could be a cheap product, right? It's obviously yellow, so we think they put a metallic outside there. So it's not UV stable, right? So what we do is, ultimately the prep process is very similar. We diamond grind the floor. That coating actually has to come off, right? So we have to go down to bare concrete. Once we go down to bare concrete, we then install, obviously everything gets vacuumed up, right? So a little bit of a process. We fill in any kind of cracks, divots. We do put down a moisture vapor barrier. Our moisture vapor barrier holds up to 14 pounds of hydrostatic pressure, so you don't have to worry about peeling or chipping. We then put the flake into it, we broadcast it, we throw it in the air. Have you guys ever seen like a garage floor coating done?
Yeah.
So similar, you know, it goes in the air, all of a sudden it sinks down, right? That cures into the coating. We then come back, scrape everything up, scrape up any kind of loose flakes, make sure it's a nice even surface. And after we do that, we seal it with the polyaspartic top coat. You know,
I was talking to you yesterday.
you were? Okay. You can tell by the voice.
No, because I see that's the only code I have here. The code is an emerald, yes.
So, the process, something like this, takes a few days. It really is slip resistant. That's the biggest part of it. There's all kinds of different ones that we do. We do a lot of legs as well, right? So, kind of give you an idea, right? This is your regular garage floor coating, okay?
Okay.
So something like this is what you see in a garage floor, okay? It's pretty slip resistant, not too bad, right? There's also an option for a hybrid flake. It's a terrazzo blend. And if you install that, we actually use 1/8" flakes. They're very, very small. When you use a terrazzo style blend, it's even more slip resistant.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't have to see.
No, thank you.
Go ahead, Gary.
What are the warranties on both?
Yeah, the warranties, yeah. So, what is the warranty? So, I didn't see this, quote here.
Yeah, I don't,
I don't see,
I sent it to Gary. I have it right here. I can resend it. Please.
that we have over here.
yeah, I'm,
So I think Gary.
Yeah.
Was it you on the texting yesterday?
Yeah. I forwarded to, maybe you didn't see it in there?
So I have it pulled up. I can email it to whoever needs it.
Alright, give him just.
Email it to
yeah, you can email it to me and I can distribute it out to everybody or give.
What's the warrant? So, we know his price. What's your price?
So 20,402. And then if you guys want, we can do a sign like that, that's out there with the different colors, do some stripes and stuff. If you want to get out, it's an extra 2,500.
Just so you know, we beat your price.
How about warranty?
10 years. 10 years.
What's your warranty?
15 years.
15?
15 years. Something a little bit about us too. We are manufacturer certified, so we are actually the only certified, Cimarron certified installer in the Tampa Bay area. Last year we did over 1,500 garages. You know, this is all that we do day in and day out. You look us up on Google too, and we have over 650 5-star reviews. So a lot of this is, it really comes down to, you know, our pricing is pretty similar.
Yeah, it's not.
Something like this takes
Tell me
longer.
the question again. Talk to me about slippery.
So it is slip resistance, right? So we actually add aluminum oxide too.
So that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, we add aluminum oxide to it, so you could, you know, you guys felt that you could step on it. Slip resistance is something that, you know, it's gonna pass the safety test if you ever had slip. God forbid you guys were to ever have a lawsuit, right? And somebody was to slip and fall, right? And they were to do a safety coefficient test, it would pass.
Okay. what's the maintenance on it?
There's no maintenance, just cleaning it, soap and water. You can use Simple Green. You can use, what's that, Pine Sol, right? Pine Sol, Simple Green.
Honestly, it's durable, chemical resistant.
Yeah.
I mean, we install this in even commercial settings before foot traffic and everything else. I mean, when it's installed right, it's pretty much gone.
That was my next question, because you're talking about garages, what about commercial level activity, frequent foot traffic?
No issue.
I mean, this can work in forklifts all day, no problem.
So what kind of damage can occur? Can these section or segment be damaged, and if so, how can it be repaired without doing the whole over again?
The only,
Either
I was
way.
gonna say, 9 times out of 10, the only damage is coming from underneath. So if the concrete cracks,
Mhm.
you know, it's very rare that, you know, when you install the system right, that you're gonna have failures.
Which I don't think we want to go to the building is like 4 years, 3 years old. I mean, it's done with Saturday now. In case anything, you know, if I need cracks, you just fill them up now and I don't know how to have this.
All the crack repair would be done, you know, anything else done. Sometimes there will be cracks under when you grind something open like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, any crack repair that needs to be done, get taken care of.
So what is the time frame to
I've got it,
get
I've
this
got
job done?
Yeah, I've got it.
I'll have to take a look at the schedule. When are you guys looking to get it done?
Yesterday?
In this season, you know, where the traffic is
Yeah,
down,
'cause we're on
it's
summertime.
waiting, so.
Probably get it done between the end of the year and, somewhere around there.
What about you?
Right now, we're booked out to about the middle of January. So,
Alright, you guys have any questions?
The other question I have is, you know, there was discussion, I don't remember exactly who was here, I know William was, at the time this discussions even began, and we were trying to get, go with the developer for some funds and so on, we were kind of pricing what one option that they had originally intended to do but backed off on, and that was some sort of tile. Are we all in agreement that epoxy is the best approach, not pursuing tile?
The only
choice?
reason I went with this one, as I don't know what was suggested, it's works perfectly, as he said, they have it in a lot of food decks, and cost ways, it's, you cannot even compare it to other tires.
Right.
So, when it comes to the pocket and the quality for what you're getting, I think that's our best bet.
I guess the system, when it's put down, I mean, we both install this all day. I mean, every time I finish a job, I'm still blown away. It's a gorgeous system.
Yeah, it does look, yeah.
No one's ever gonna look at a job and be like, I regretted installing it. It really just adds a ton of value to the community.
Yeah.
Looks
But
beautiful.
there is aesthetics though, colors we can pick. all that
So
kind of
they
stuff.
did send a second estimate, it was the same estimate, but they did send pictures for these guys, I don't see yours.
So-
They sent pictures.
So I think what happened, just for clarity, what happened was you sent some samples across, and the samples went out. That would have come to you from Margaret on Friday, but the proposal itself. So there were 2 emails: proposal, samples. Samples got to you on.
We got his proposal.
Well,
and
his
samples.
proposal, yeah,
And his samples.
correct. But it's our fault that you didn't get his proposal. Just to
So
make
this
it
is-
clear.
This is the samples we have, colors, which there's all kind of colors. So here, if I would go, this kind of bluish shade matches the theme a little bit.
Right.
If you guys want to see, that's the second one. Down in the middle, the top right.
And
I'm gonna get some bigger boards.
Yeah, here you go, yeah, just make it easy, please.
And I did send out that second proposal as well, so y'all should have it.
Thank you.
Apologize for that.
So, after we see you guys need to make a decision between the both of them.
Well, we should wait to actually
Yeah,
get
it's
the
in-
call to see it go through, right?
Are we able to, you know, if we were to make the decision at the next meeting, we still have time, before the real busy season of swimming, right?
When would we have to wait?
Oh, I'm not saying we have to, or do we have everything we need to decide?
Yeah.
Just have to make sure that they're not trimming the trees while they're doing that at the same time, that's it, so.
That's Andy's job, that's Andy's job.
Yeah.
Can you let him? Thank you so much.
Thank you. So this kind of gives you a little bit of a bigger, better view. Go ahead, feel it.
It's the
My kids would love that. Yeah, it's, I mean, you guys can try it.
Thank you.
Trust your feet.
Oh, man. Jeez.
So you mentioned about, let's say, if we ever get sued or something, what is your products, both, you know, just, what is the standard, I'll say, the standard protection that you would say? What is something that's above and beyond? What is something that you've seen in the industry that indicates, hey, you know, someone falls, you're gonna sue you, right?
Yep.
And then where's our liability, where's your liability, is there anything past that after?
It's in his estimate, he said, in case there's an injury, they're not liable for it.
Correct.
So we're not, so when it comes to slip resist, because slip resistance sometimes is a super gray area, right? But slip resistant for one person is not slip resistant for somebody else, right?
Sure.
You guys have insurance as a CDD, so if somebody was to slip and fall and sue you, right, then your insurance would normally handle it. Now, if they were to come out, right, and they were to test the slip resistance, there's something where it's an ADA compliant, I believe that there's like a specific number, it's 0.7 or something like that, where any kind of outdoor commercial area has to have it's called a coefficient slip, there's a certain name, and I don't wanna quote it to be wrong, right? But there's a certain number, when they do a test on it, it's like a little thing that swings, and it has to specifically match that number or be more. Otherwise, it could put somebody at liability.
Okay.
So, hey, you guys installed something that's not meant to be outdoors. Tile sometimes may not pass. Certain areas like, you know, plazas, they have the yellow strip in the front, you know. There's certain laws that are in place that you have to have a certain amount of slip resistance.
So what we're saying here, in case we get to this situation, which I don't even think, I mean, just saying, who knows, is gonna pass the test.
Correct, yeah, that's the bottom line of it. It's something that lasts, looks beautiful.
Yeah.
We have joints in it?
Are they what?
Joints, you know,
No,
suspension.
no, so
one
And it says in here, you know, that there's a purpose for those, so they do not cover those. Because obviously it's meant to, because this, well, I mean, obviously, this type of material will solidify that.
So it's
basically,
continuous pour.
I'm not gonna speak for Dustin, but I'm sure that he's gonna agree with me on this, so we don't ever coat joints, we don't close them, they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, in case cracks were to happen, right? What joints do, they're called control joints, they actually prolong cracks from happening. So if like there's a crack going through a slab, it's not gonna continue to go into the other slab.
So basically, keep them there, and yeah,
Correct.
that's what I would prefer.
Yeah, you see like the lines coming through,
Sure.
it's super clean. You would see them in pool decks, there's control joints, there's expansion joints. When we grind off that surface, we don't know what's underneath. But we're assuming that there might be some joints in there. Ultimately, that coating just has to go down to bare concrete.
All right.
So both of your quotes are pretty close on the square footage. So just to make sure, your quote, you split out the square footage for the bathroom, outdoor, and all that. So I'm assuming since the square footage is similar, that your quote is including like the bathroom.
Everything, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I would prefer the aesthetics of tile, but I know even those quotes that we were getting before were just this area. And the bathroom flooring sucks.
It is.
I mean,
What kind of tile?
and that is tile.
What tile?
So,
Yeah, I mean,
and
again,
then we have the issue of basically, right now, this is the same height.
Yeah.
So if you bring in any type of tile, then
it'll go up.
we're having to vary up to another surface.
Just like you will say, in tile a lot of times doesn't pass the test. What you risk, I mean, cost-wise, tile will only cost you maybe double the price, if not more, depending on what kind of tile you have. Anyway, both between both of us, you're close, but the warranty is more than the other guy. Yeah, 15 on this one, okay.
Real quick too, nothing wrong with Cimarron, I installed Cimarron for a long time, so I'm assuming you're using 1150? Instead of 50
We're
pounds?
using Witcher Vapor Barrier or 1150.
It is 1150?
1150.
So 1150 withholds 15 pounds of water pressure. The stuff we use is a true moisture vapor barrier, it holds back 25. The only failures you're ever gonna see is if the concrete cracks or if there's moisture from below.
I like, hydrostatic pressure.
Yeah.
But you're not using the aluminum stuff.
Well, we use 30 tex?
30 text.
Yeah, we use the same stuff. I still use some Cimarron product, I use the 30 tex anytime I do soap resistant stuff.
Floors in the bathroom,
It's the entrance, it's the same like this one here?
yeah.
It's the same.
What about the bathroom itself? What floor, what's on the floor?
I don't know, do we have to do this bathroom inside?
Well, the bathroom is tiled.
I wasn't
so-
showing the side, I wasn't
Yeah.
showing
Actually,
the
that's true,
side.
because it says entrance, not the bathroom
Yeah, the
itself.
bathroom is-
The bathroom is tiled, but basically, if somebody's in there barefoot and their feet are wet, they fall in the bathroom.
That's
So,
my question.
I mean,
Fine.
probably need to consider doing something in the bathrooms.
I mean.
That's where all the chatter was in the beginning, was people falling down in the
In the
bathroom.
bathroom.
So
Yeah, there's nobody else to see.
Barefoot in the bathroom, I'll just say that.
Okay,
I
so
don't
what
think
is
you should
it?
barefoot in the bathroom,
So
but we do.
those bathrooms are not massive. I mean, we could always break it down again. We're gonna add the bathrooms, so basically removing the tiles and put the same material in the bathrooms as well. Since we're gonna do it, we just do it right in once.
Is there any issues in a wet environment and with the drain? Basically, obviously, it's gonna be sloped with the drain somewhere in it and stuff like that of using this.
So water's always gonna go to the lowest point, of course. Just full transparency, my quote did not include inside the bathroom.
We understand, right, I understand that.
So yeah, I mean, however it's sloped, so this is not self-leveling, all we really do is we follow however it's already sloped. So if water's going into the drains, it's gonna continue going into the drains.
But it will not affect the material. If there's a lot of water, it will not affect it.
Once this is sealed, it's a one-time thing, you don't ever have to worry about resealing or anything like that.
We're gonna do it.
So
Yeah, that's what
do we want to perhaps get modified proposals that
Yeah,
include the
yeah, so
bathrooms,
that's-
have it on the next
I think
agenda
it's
to review, or?
I would just give the power to Kevin to pull the trigger on it, or anybody else.
Or for X additional for the bathroom, based
Exactly.
on some
Okay.
guesstimate
Yeah.
from these guys?
And but which one, he can choose one of them?
Well, I would suggest that if you're going that route, like you want to make a decision this evening, you would probably want to choose one vendor.
Tonight.
Yeah, decide which vendor tonight, and then the follow-on for the bathrooms, you could designate that to Kevin or anybody else on the board.
Or do you want to wait till the next meeting so we can see how that process?
I just, they mentioned their lead time, remember, we're talking about a month maybe to starting point, so we wanna make sure that, and it only takes a few days, so even if we do this at the next meeting, so we're all here for everything, to talk about it, it still has us done.
I got time. Then that's what we're gonna do, guys. You guys, I mean, since you're here, feel free to go check the bathrooms, or
Yeah,
check your
I
measurements.
can already, I was gonna say, I can already tell you, it just comes down to square footage. If there's tile removal, you're looking at like around 850 square foot to install.
Yeah, 850 is, I just need a straight number for it.
Yeah,
whole block.
I can tell you the price in 5 minutes, honestly, I just need.
Feel free to go.
Yeah.
There. You guys will.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
All right, let's move to.
All right, yeah, just to give you guys a heads up, we're about like 40 minutes away from our 2-hour time, and we still have a lot. We got through a lot though, so that one more quick item. As long as we're doing kind of proposals, Gary had gotten 2 proposals for cleaning the carpets in here. I don't want to steal his thunder. One was from Steam Clean Pros, and these are in front of you. And that one was for $393.05, and the other one was for Voda. That's okay. It's
So what I was talking to him about is like, do we really want to keep the carpet?
oh, okay. Well, if you want to keep the carpet,
just say-
you've got a proposal for $393 or
That's-
$520.
That's really nothing cleaning, it's not, but we're talking about the big picture. I would think vinyl plank is gonna look amazing here. We did it clean, strong,
Yeah.
it's gonna cost us maybe a little money, but you're done with it.
Next year's budget.
Next year budget probably.
So-
But it's never been cleaned, it's stained like hell, I'm the one who brought it up because of the terrible stains, and just, it's just a thing to do once a year, so.
Do you want to? Anybody want to make a motion to get it cleaned?
$300 on it's
Yeah.
clean.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
It doesn't even mean you're gonna get the stains out, honestly,
No,
but
pictures
it's just a
outside,
cleaning.
it's gonna look better. And it would be better they do it after the Christmas party.
After Christmas
Yes,
party. Got it.
yes.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Martin did.
I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear it. Thank you. And any additional discussion? All in favor? Okay, great. So let me figure out where we are on the agenda now. So we have your engineer on the line. Perhaps we want to go to him next and give him an opportunity if he has any questions for the board. I know he's been, kind of catching up on stuff from your previous engineer. But Andrew, are you still on the line? We can go ahead and give you the floor if you had any questions or info for the board at this time.
Okay, yep, I'm still online here. So Jeff Schwarz was the previous Alliance project manager who was working with you guys. He's since left Alliance. David Landing, my project manager, is the new point of contact, and we're still trying to catch up with a lot of the issues that the district may be having. It's my understanding that there was a survey proposal by the surveyor, one of the surveyors, Joey Coops, and he forwarded this to Jeff Rouse, but we haven't gotten any information back on whether or not he actually sent that to the district. So one of my points of inquiry was whether or not you guys had gotten that.
No.
Understanding that there's-
This is Kevin Gagne. I'll address that. At the last meeting, we heard about this survey proposal. No one is sure what it's for. I was the one mostly dealing with Jeff, and I know all the issues, and I don't know what situation would have required a survey. And so, yeah, we need, you and I, or your project manager and myself, can talk about this in the coming week to get on the same page of what this survey is all about, or what it's needed for, and what the two outstanding issues that I am aware of, which means that's the only ones, because I was the only one dealing with Jeff, what they are and where they stand, as far as we know.
Okay, and I have limited knowledge of this. David Whitby will know more about it, but it's our understanding that there was some sort of wetland buffer that needed to be surveyed, as well as some erosion issues going on. So we can talk later to discuss that, but.
There's two situations, two separate areas. One involves multiple homes, and it's standing water, and he was going to evaluate whether it's a grading issue or what is causing that, and propose some ideas. Once we learn more about the situation, maybe he was looking into survey for that. I'm not sure. The other one is a very isolated, behind one parcel, an erosion breakthrough that occurred during the hurricane, and it's not in wetlands, it's not in wetland buffer, and it just needs to be a construction detail for the fix prepared, and we can get prices for that. So those are the two things.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. David will get back in contact with you folks about this. He wasn't able to attend another meeting at the exact same time, so he's in the.
Yeah, that's probably just as well, because if you reach out to Andy, and then Andy gets me in touch with your engineer, then I'll just get them up to speed. I assume he has access to whatever Jeff had. Jeff had folders on these projects maybe or whatever. So I don't know what you have or what your guy has, but I can get you guys up to snuff. And then we move forward from there.
Okay. Great. Any other questions for Andrew?
Is it the same company that Jeff is with?
Yes.
Oh, and the other thing is the signs. Signs for blocking access behind houses, positions and locations for signs to keep people out of the CDD areas for shortcuts and recreation and dirt bikes and other nonsense. No, just for him to review the map, and Jeff had prepared a working map of our entire property that had lots of areas hatched for landscaping concerns and so on. So it's kind of an all-purpose map that he could add to as needed. So hopefully you guys have that. We have the latest PDF, but whatever raw file he generated it in, hopefully you guys have a handle on that. And we were asking for that map to be maybe marked up with some locations for signage, so that we could sort of pass a rule or designated areas that are not for community foot traffic and other purposes, just for maintenance access only. So that was the other thing on the list associated with you guys, our district engineer. So that's 3 things actually.
Okay. Why don't you, forward that to Andy, and he can send it to us. David may have that on file, I'm not sure, but I just want to make sure that, it gets to him.
Okay, yeah, I'll send you the map that Andy, you have it.
I have it,
From the
yeah.
latest email, but again, the map we have is not editable, it's a PDF, and I assume he did it, and maybe flattened it before sending it to us, so he must,
Yeah.
you guys, Alliant, must have some sort of, a mock-up, active PDF where these things can be added to and removed as we need them to make different maps.
Right. Hopefully it's unflappable.
Yeah, I'll send it across regardless. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
There you go.
Go back to the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we received one proposal in, and,
So, I'm ready to send this, actually, so I'm gonna send it to you guys. I sent the original proposal to Gary, is there another email I should send this to?
Okay, so Gary's the.
yeah, you can send it to Gary, it's fine.
Send it to us, always. So what's the number?
I'm trying to.
Go ahead.
1590. 1590.
1590 what?
For the back.
For the back. 1500 so we're adding.
Sorry?
We're adding $1,500 to the 17.
Correct, yeah.
So total how much, roughly?
So total that you're looking at is 19,376.
Alright.
So basically total will be 200.
22?
Andy.
Yes, sir.
Alright, you guys want to pull the trigger? Should I go first? I mean, price wise and warranty, I mean, it's basically the same, but we have more warranty with, wasn't it performance? Performance, yeah. So, I'll put the motion to go, okay?
Okay. Do we have a second to that motion?
Sure, I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Okay, motion carries.
You were, I mean, we got the color, right?
Yeah, the color is B.
We don't have the blue one, right?
Yeah, it's FB 310. It's the blue one, the dark blue one. It's right here. Can I get that?
FB310 orbit.
Yeah. So they can see it, so that's fine. Okay.
Everybody good? Good with that one?
The color, guys?
Good color.
Alright.
I'm just updating that in the proposal.
Okay.
So you're gonna be in touch with Gary, you said maybe by the end of the year?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Depending
let me
on when
know.
we get everything, buttoned up contract-wise, supposedly. We have business set up, it's pretty simple.
Just, how many days will it take to work, roughly?
I would say, just putting this in for you guys, roughly 5 days,
Alright, so.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah, whenever we decide the work day, we know what it is, just send a few minutes to the community, they know they can all use this area.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So would it be closed for, all day, every day for 5 days? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's including like a cure time? Because
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
no,
walk in
absolutely,
and-
I just wanna make sure I understood. When that's set, you guys can work it out.
Yeah, we can schedule that. That's no problem.
E-blast and then someone from Facebook.
Yeah.
Will know that as well.
Okay. Well, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys, appreciate your time.
We did have one other proposal. It was actually the very first one, but we jumped into landscaping. It was Mike's sign graphics for a pool gate entry sign and installation for $600. It was Exhibit
So this
2.
one confuses the hell out of me. It's that sign right there.
Yeah,
It's on the
yeah,
door,
it's
right?
reflects.
See the sign on the door that's facing on the outside, we want one on the inside as well.
Okay,
I don't know what that thing
I
must
will
have
go
cost.
on YouTube.
thank you.
And maybe it's a little more substantial on the Gagne here, but it's exactly the same sign. I don't know how it could cost that much money, but also, they don't even have the right number, we have 4, and then we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we need 5. They got a big old price for installation.
Yeah, really quick, so for scheduling wise, as soon as you guys accept it, all you gotta do is sign off on it. You know, I'll get with Gary afterwards to put on schedule, so I know we're running close to the end of the year, so at least we don't have to schedule right now, but at least, we don't have to get a deposit right now, but at least if you guys sign off on it, we can schedule it to get it rolling.
Yeah,
So I know the deposit's gonna take a little bit or so.
if you send it over, we'll probably just drop it to the attorney real quick to take a quick look, and then we'll send it right back.
Yep.
Okay.
Just want to match that, and Brian told me that he had given you guys the company he bought it from, because he failed to buy it. It was in motion to buy months before they left, but he just kept on doing it, so,
You know, it doesn't need to match. If you can, there's these companies, they make.
That's everyone.
you
Have a good one.
They make stickers for businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
You really take a picture, send it to him, and he can write down, but it doesn't need to match. It's gonna cost maybe $30 a piece, maybe not even.
there's
Okay.
also that proposal has different sizes, right? I don't think any of ours are different sizes.
by 24.
I don't think ours are any different, I mean, that's like that 11 by 17, 8.5 by 11 maybe.
8.5 by 11.
So, yeah, I mean, we're gonna go back to the drawing board on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't wanna turn them around, cause I don't think you can even take that off, that one anyway. Maybe the ones over there can be turned around, but they're always meant to be, if only on one side, facing the people that the message is going to. The people that are not supposed to let someone in, that means they're already inside. And so when they went and put them on the other side, I was like, you know what, cause they didn't cost much, those. Let's just get us another set and put them on both sides. That way, the person inside can say, hey, look, this is why I can't let you in. See that right in front of you? And the cameras from our end will see the sign. Oh, you didn't know you were supposed to not let someone in? What about that sign that's right in front of you in this picture? You know, that kind of thing.
So yeah, just, I think I know somebody. I'm gonna find it and let you know if you can find your own. It's gonna cost cheaper than $600.
Okay.
Alright, what's next?
Fair enough. Well, I would suggest we would move on to the attorney's report, which is next, and Brian's here, and
So can we just let Heather jump in, because she's
Yeah.
gonna leave at 7:10?
of course.
And I know it's not 7:10 yet, but this could take a while, I don't know, but we got everyone else here except, I'll accept her, so.
Because seems like
No, I
this-
mean, everyone else that had business here.
I understand.
got them on their way.
Yeah, we can do that, if everybody's good with that.
Yeah, it's fine. She spent money for it.
So, essentially, right, if you remember at the last meeting, we approved, for the Christmas party. But then also there was some talk about trying to squeak in some decorations, wreaths, garlands, something on our own that we could maybe do this year. Understanding that, Rabah was also gonna look into lights and so on and so forth. She didn't volunteer for that job, but somehow got roped in to looking into it. Rabah roped her in. Okay, I didn't want to put anyone in the bus, but. So Heather got roped in a little bit. She's been out and about. There's not a lot to choose from, but she found some wreaths that were like at Black Friday sale at 50% off. 4-foot giant wreaths. Grabbed those. She's grabbed a handful of other stuff in coordination with Rabah about trying to do have some stuff in addition to what we already have or what she's doing for the party. So this is not the normal order of things. We would, next year, you know, with Christmas lights and everything, we want to try to plan it well in advance, get approval, and then go buy those things. But she's put out the money from her pocket for certain things. If the board approves those things retroactively, then she can reimburse for them. If not, I'm gonna still buy my kids Christmas presents and return all that stuff.
So this is gonna happen. Those stuff she bought, it's something, it's basically commercial thing we can reuse every single year. We have, I'm gonna pay somebody else.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so, the stuff that I bought, it's not super expensive, it was like Michael's, you know, like choose if I would buy something for the community. But they're not super expensive. I bought like 2 4-foot for the front. And again, I can return it. It's the only way I did it, the only reason I did it. And if you guys don't do it, fine, no biggie, I just return it. So I bought 2 4-foot for the two sides of the main building here. And then we'll put some clothes on there. Each one of those were $75. They're not as full as I would like to see them be for our community, but it's
You can
something.
always add stuff to it.
But they can be repurposed. They're not, they're fake, so they're not gonna go back. So I bought those, and then I bought some garland, but I can't find the rest to do the front door for here, so I kinda feel like we should just forget about that, because I don't think it's gonna look good, it's not worth it. I'll just return those. Those were like only $12 each, but you need like 4 of them, and we could find 3. So I think I'll just return that, but, I bought a couple wreaths. I sent you a picture. Gina and I just went out front to see if it would look good. They're not as big as I would like. They were technically 3 feet, but they personally don't look like 3 feet. But, again, not as full as I would personally like, but they don't look bad. So I bought 2 for the main entrance. Again, they were only $20. We can repurpose them for next year, put them in here, put them up by the pool. They're not gonna go waste. And then I personally, I guess we could put the same wreath, on the entrance off of Reef Bay, not Reef Bay,
Berry Coast.
Berry Coast.
Second
To the
one.
left, when you take the left into our community, there's that wall. We can put another wreath up there. We were looking to put some garland, but I can't seem to find it. Everything is,
Nothing in
apparently there's a back order. Apparently.
Well, the problem with Amazon, I mean, we did a lot of shopping while we were doing other things, and the thing is, like, even in a Walmart, you look at the picture of the wreath, and you go there to pick it up, and it's the Temu wreath version of the picture. So if you buy it on Amazon, again, we're out of pocket money, and it's gonna come and it's gonna be garbage, and then we're just gonna be like, having to do
I didn't
return
wanna
it and
waste
so on.
money
So,
on things
All
that I
right.
feel like,
How much did you spend, Heather?
looking at our community knows, I don't know what, again, those smaller wreaths that were the 3 foot were $20 each, I bought 4 of them. The 4 foot were $75 each, bought the 2 of them, and then I bought one for,
Just
like
over
we
seats.
talked about the door, I bought that one was $20, and then I just gotta buy the bows.
So
We're
you
not
will,
talking
actually will need more stuff, right? Like the bows,
The
and
bows.
maybe some decorations to the wreath themselves, I don't know.
Potentially, if I can find some filler to fill
So
that up a
what
little.
was the
Gina's
total
good
amount
with
so
that
far
stuff.
of the things? I know you already said some of the stuff that was really garbage, or you couldn't get the 4th piece to match.
The garland,
You
I'm gonna
return
just
it.
return that.
So the stuff that we can use, if the board could consider, keep buying and having for future as well, what's the?
I
what's
think
the bottom
personally
line?
for next year, start earlier, and I don't know if Kai has some connections or better options to buy like a commercial gray type wreath that I don't know about. I looked everywhere, I couldn't find anything that I thought would be. So I feel like next year, whether you do one part, like you do the entrance, and then you spend the money there, and you buy nice stuff.
So let me tell you, is
Yeah.
there any way you can find garlands for those 2 entrances?
To do what?
The garlands?
No.
I mean,
Something-
yeah, I can buy some, but it's gonna be
Did you
like.
check at home? At home?
Dude, I've seen all this stuff, okay, this has been a
Pretty.
nightmare in my house. If you buy this and you put it up,
It's
you're
too
gonna have,
late at this point.
all
You have
these-
to start like 2
the
months ago.
stock isn't there, and then people are gonna say, ugh.
All right,
look what
how
you
much
did.
did you spend?
It looks like shit, you know what I'm
Again,
saying?
it depends, if I keep all of that, it was probably,
Do you want to add more?
no, I
Like
don't
most-
need
No, I
both,
want her to be
I need
done.
to add both, but that's,
Both. So roughly how much?
Stuff repeat.
Yeah, how
I mean,
much?
it's under $500, I know that.
So basically we approve her
I
on
just
$500.
had probably 300 at the most.
We approve her on $500.
Yep.
Whatever she spent, she submits her receipts and she gets paid for exactly what she spent.
Up to 500.
Yeah.
Is that good, right? Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you wanna keep what I got. You
You
see
tell
the
me,
picture?
I think that they're completely fine, to be honest. The
Okay.
big ones and the small one, the one we saw, those ones are gonna last forever.
They will. I personally think you would want something bigger and fuller, like, for next year. And you maybe take your, do the front, buy the really nice trees, buy them some for like $300, obviously.
We can always
So-
now, but
Yeah, we purchase them elsewhere.
Just a
But right now,
suggestion,
that's what
you could make the motion to approve the receipts submitted not to exceed $500
Yeah,
for
that's what I
the
meant. That's
decorations.
exactly what I meant.
Okay, so that's a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, second.
Will that stuff fit in that closet?
well, I mean, we talked about that. It's gotta be, there's a big desk in there right now, which you guys maybe
Yeah,
kind
we're
of do
talking about
that.
that desk. It
There's a
used to
bunch of
be-
stuff in there and that
Takes
desk
the whole
really doesn't
closet.
need to be in there.
What about the janitorial room over there? What do we have over there?
Well, the janitor room, okay, is very interesting, and we should talk about that as well. It's narrow and super, super high, like, if we could, like, someone's creative with shelving
You
and
could put
and
books up
ladders.
there.
Yeah.
I guess there's plenty of room to get stuff up there, but not conveniently, because I looked in there as
You
well.
could just put like a big,
Think about it, with Reiss, you're gonna put a
Yeah,
L bracket and they just
Yeah,
suck to each other.
Yeah, those are
Exactly.
absolutely
On the
going there,
wreaths,
up high,
Yeah.
and once a year come out.
So-
Do you need my Christmas tree? So my plan is,
I don't think not this year.
for the outside, you don't need it? Alright.
No,
then
I'm
we
not
good.
gonna bother to do that.
Alright.
So we have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
We've had some additional discussion.
Okay.
If there's no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
No problem. So we'll flip it on over to Brian, your attorney here this evening, for his report.
Hello, everyone. So, we can start with the records inspection. So, we have received 2 records inspections. One was from James Casement. We received it yesterday, I believe. And I think Michelle has already provided him some of the records. We've spoken to him today. We're going to work it out with him, and I believe that there may be some costs involved. Maybe not, just depends.
Can I clarify just one thing for the board? So it wasn't received yesterday, but I went to their office for their cost estimate yesterday.
Okay.
Just to be clear, it came in a while
What
ago.
we're talking about?
It's a,
He's asking for
Yeah.
emails from August to...
Yeah, alright,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's not just too many emails, but Michelle is handling that, and she'll communicate with you guys.
So when they fill out a request for emails or whatever, is there a form, or they just call you and say, hey, I just want some emails from this date to this date?
They can just send a letter,
Okay.
and just the letter will say what they're requesting to inspect. And so, I don't have a copy of the letter with me.
yeah, it came in via
Yeah, I'm
email.
just curious if
Yeah.
it's an email or a form.
This one came
Request.
in via email. We have some districts where there are forms that they can fill out, but it's not required, so.
Okay.
You could adopt a policy going forward.
What is the second one? What is the second one?
The second records inspection is Rebecca Hathaway. She's retained counsel, and so she sent us a letter today, actually. I have a copy of it with me here. So Michelle is gonna speak with her attorney tomorrow, and again, it's just, she's claiming that the charges are excessive.
Yeah,
And,
it's
so,
her.
Michelle's handling that, and she'll give you guys an additional update after she speaks with
Okay.
her attorney. And then the rest of what we're handling is pretty much enforcement of the amenity rules. I know it's a hot topic right now. The first thing I was going to discuss was the Whitby suspension. He is the owner of 11870 Armada Way. That occurred earlier
Yep,
today.
we're all
so-
set with that one.
Set with that one. The next is, it's just, I know there's been a lot of back and forth. We've sent Kevin a few emails. He's had some questions. It's really about just the board's role in enforcing the amenity rules. We do understand the need to enforce the rules, and we think it's part of your duties as well. But we think that some of the issues that are occurring right now, it's more in the jurisdiction of law enforcement. And so our recommendation is for the board to, so Michelle's actually reaching out to Manatee County, and she's inviting them out to the next meeting. And ideally, if there's trespassers, they should be enforcing criminal laws. And so it might just be a matter of teaching the police officers, what the rules are here. You need key fobs to enter, and ideally they'll start.
Sorry to interrupt. So are you saying, maybe I'm sorry, that situation that we discussed earlier, that where 30 people came in, and was that trespassing?
I think that's a question for law enforcement. I would argue that it could be. They're unauthorized people entering the property, and they're also not following the rules. If they're residents, then it might become a little bit of a gray area, but that's why I think it's important to reach out to law enforcement, try to work something out, because if we can work with them, then.
So, I'm gonna shed some light on this particular topic as to why it's up and why I had back and forth with Michelle. So an incident occurred, you probably saw on Facebook anyway, a resident saying that a kid went through the torn screen, didn't know if he tore it or not,
Right.
and then let a girl in the side gate. So I investigated that one, no credential used, submitted a report to Kai with descriptions and whatnot. No way of knowing or validating whether they had authorized access, but whether they did or not, they broke that access by crawling through a screen. And the resident kicked them out, which, wasn't a good idea. So anyway, next day, I also get kind of a tip that someone may have hopped over a fence. It appears, just appeared inside, or seemed to be inside, and went to that back gate and let a teen girl in. Pulled it up on the cameras, same truth from the day before.
Right.
So, okay, this is what I've done before, this is what I've been told to do, I'm not going there and talking to them, this is trespass. Or at least unverified access. I call the police, I tell them I'm a board supervisor, I'll meet them down here, possible trespass, come down here, meet the officer outside, he asked for a description of the ones that were involved, I looked at the cameras, I explained to him that it was two teens, they had come in the day before, and I said, they also, in the process of hanging out in front here, let in a group of 12-year-old boys, about 5 of them, and then they just went and played in the pool, unsupervised. They may have let in another person or two while they were hanging out up front. So I explained that all to him. The officer said to me first, well, did you talk to them to see if they live here? Did you talk to the kids to see if they live here? And I said, no, I mean, so we've had trouble with teens and other stuff, including some violent threats and whatnot. This is why I call you in this circumstance. And he says, well, I'm not going to go talk to the kids. So you can go find out if they live here, but I will talk to the teens. Okay? So I go off and talk to the teens. The kids. When I was done talking to the kids, I went back and met the officers, and the officer says to me, and this is all in the report you're eventually going to get. They have it.
Yep.
Officer says to me something like, hey man, they're like 13, 14. Are you really going to trespass them? They could do time for that. And I said, man, this is what I have to do. When someone comes here and 2 days in a row, and that's really why I came down for this one. It wasn't just an isolated incident, and it's not that they sort of knocked on the door and someone let them in, otherwise I'd be after that person. I said, he said, well, she says her aunt's coming and she lives here, the aunt. So, let's just wait to hear what she has to say if she lives there. I said, absolutely fine. So the boy wants to leave, but the officer tells him he gotta stay till we sort this out. So there's teen boy, teen girl. The aunt comes in, officer says to me, okay, go ahead and talk to her, and she is. So I said, okay, ma'am, explain the situation the day before, and went, well, I live here, she's with me, she has the right to be here. I don't know who he is. And I said, he was here with her yesterday, he's here with her today, I don't know who he is, he's your problem, go ask, this is their aunt, go ask his parents why he's here. She says, all I can say is, I have the right to be here, and she turns to the girl and says, next time you come here, you use the card, and you don't come here hanging with nobody else, let anyone else in. You understand me? She says, yes. And the officer says, okay. And she's like, am I good here? Am I good? I gotta go. And I said, well, could you give me your address? Would you be willing to provide your address? Because that's the only way I can verify if you actually have valid access credential or not. No, I'll give you my address. Officer says to me, I'll give you your address. Okay? So I can't verify whether she actually has access to be here. So the officer says, come outside with me. So one of the officers stays with them. He comes out, takes me outside, and he says, look, she seems angry, because there was also discussion about like the boy and whatever, so she's being irritated, so she said, she's so angry. I'll take her aside, take them aside, I'll see if I can find out her address, because she says she lives here. I can verify if she has, if she's perfectly good. So, I didn't even go outside and wait until both officers eventually come back over. They've all been let off. And they come to me and said, spoke to her, she does live in the community, she gave us her address, she even showed us mail and whatever. I said, great. Just give me that and I'll be able to verify that they have valid access. I was completely forgetting about the boy, honestly.
Yeah.
And they didn't say anything about the boy either. So the boy is completely unverified. They didn't tell me anything about conversation with the boy, just let the boy off.
Yeah.
Even though the woman said it wasn't.
Yeah.
She don't know him. So I forgot about that. I was just dealing with the thing at the moment. I said, can I just have the address then for verification purposes? No, sorry, I can't give that to you. So what do you mean you can't give that to me? And he said, isn't my word good enough that she lives here? And I said, doesn't matter that she lives here. That doesn't give her the right to access the facility. Well, what do you mean? Sure it does. I said, no. I said, we have processes. We have credentials have to be applied for. There's a process. The address has to be reviewed. If you're a tenant, you have to provide your lease. The landlord, I just rifled through it. And then you have authorized access once you have that. And so the reason I call you for trespass is because I don't have the authority to verify access myself. And he says, well, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do for you. And I said, as long as you guys are aware, the next time I see them here, I'm obligated to do the same thing, call you for trespass. But yet you won't let me trespass them. Yes, sir. So I wrote all that up. Michelle said that is not proper for them. I will talk to them. And then I just found out the police report today, or yesterday, maybe today, of that incident. And I wrote a follow-up email to Michelle with the police report, which did identify, actually in the report, the address of the aunt. She has no access credential at all, not even in the system. So I gave that all to them to follow up, so that, because Michelle volunteered or said she would on our behalf contact the police department and discuss, the protocol and what they can and cannot do, what they're supposed to do. Because you can imagine, my head is spinning. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's all conflicting information, and even when you do the right thing, you can't, it's a problem. So that's that. That's where that is.
So basically what I'm seeing here is two different things. The first firm said, yes, we can do things. I understand that you guys say we cannot do
I'm gonna
things.
talk about that too.
That's because, so now we need to find out a way. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. You have this asset and people come and trash and break rules and they just can walk out and nothing happens.
So let me try, let's do this particular thing first, because I want to talk about that as well.
Can I bring up one real quick thing because it's pertinent? So Kevin, you had sent off some good questions to Michelle that she had responded to. I couldn't send it out to everybody because that was, sunshine, that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to ask Brian, since he's here, if I forward this now as part of this meeting's record, we're good to go. Everybody can look at it because it'd be a record then. So I'm going to forward it on to you, just so you have, because it's a lot of good question and answers and a lot of what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, if I can't do this, then why can I do this? If you tell me not to talk to people, why does the cop tell me to go talk to people?
To be honest,
what am I supposed to do?
I got no time to wait this since we're here. Give me the conclusion if you don't mind.
So the conclusion is that next month, ideally, Deputy Commander of Manatee County will come to the meeting, we'll educate him on the rules, and he will command his team to work with the board to enforce things the way they're supposed to be enforced.
So I have another question.
Yes.
Excuse me, Ron. That's if we can go down that route, it's going to be basically that's the longest route.
Yeah.
What is our chances to collaborate with the HOA lawyer and we can have an agreement with the HOA? You breaking rules, we decide the fine, pass it to the lawyer, because they can put liens on this house. Is that possible?
That's something that Michelle's also looking into. I believe she's already reached out to the attorney. He
Yeah,
hasn't gotten back to us yet.
Speak to that. So I asked her, again, another one of my long emails, but a lot of questions, asked her to coordinate directly with George, the HOA attorney, because of the authorities they have versus the authorities we have, to come up with a plan of how we, the CDD, can work with the HOA to the maximum extent possible under the law to do so for the betterment of the community when it comes to exchanging information about people that do things incorrectly here, where that is also a violation of conduct that the HOA has some control over, community conduct writ large. And so they can and are willing and interested in having the reports that we have associated with certain addresses, because the only way they could ever get any action on repeat issues happening in this community is to have a case filed. So she has agreed also, and has already reached out to George, but they haven't connected yet because he was on vacation. So that there is a sort of plan in the works too.
So just back to the story.
Yep.
And this happened prior, where someone scanned themselves in, so we knew they were a resident. It was that elderly lady, her son was hanging out in the pool.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So, but he was letting people in.
Yes.
So we were able to pinpoint him, because he did the right thing and scanned himself in, and they did wrong, and we were. So it's just the same situation. That girl went and got her aunt, which I'll say was the right thing to have the adult come down, the adult says, I have rights here. But the person who has no rights whatsoever just gets to go away.
Right.
Because it's kind of like counterintuitive that we're only punishing the people we can identify. We can only identify the people that live in the neighborhood.
So,
Everyone else
do you
gets
remember
to
how
go
much
away.
I talked about and wanted to have a protocol and plan for legally sharing with a select group of people, images from the cameras to help identify. There are people in this neighborhood that have kids in the schools, they're busybodies, they know everybody, their kids know everybody, their kids come, already know who stole the bike, can do it in the thing, but can't do anything about it yet, but it's in the works, because every kid who was at the bus stop said, oh, XYZ did it, I saw him do it, point is, anyway, the issue, there's a number of issues, and the sharing of the photographs, I'll jump to that on my list that I want to talk about today. I've asked about that with Michelle, brought it back up again, and she said, and the bike theft is a perfect example. So, from the amenity center cameras, I have, not even checking for police, I have the kids playing in one area, waiting for the bus, early enough that, there's not too many other kids around. Good, perfect images of them, clothes, exactly. I've seen them before around the neighborhood. They're at the bus stop every single day still. I saw them today when I was here earlier with Heather. So you stole the bike and you stole the bike. I saw you on the camera. But there's a process, obviously, right? So we have all these things on the camera, and there's a desire for me anyway, to try to identify who they are by showing this to certain people, so that I can share that with the police. So the result is, she said that it's okay if one, the board determines footage to not reveal capabilities or vulnerabilities of the district security system, and two, the sharing is done strictly in furthering of the district's official duties, including enforcement of amenity policies.
So what, we're doing it.
So does the board
Situation,
agree if there's a screenshot or whatever, okay, are you concerned if I use that? It's disclosing vulnerabilities in our security system. We already talked about this before with the previous lawyer, and said, well, what's the point of having security cameras if you can't do anything with the footage you have? So that's one thing we have to decide as a board. And the second is, well, not to decide, if it's in furtherance of amenity center rule addressing whatever, of course it is. I mean, in this case, the theft, the littering, throwing the bicycles in the pond, possible drainage pond issues as well that you can't do environmentally with, besides the theft, the aggrieved party whose bike was stolen, we as a district, do we, I wrote this to Michelle. I said, do we have more that we can do? And honestly, Andy, when I wrote that and said, I want to do whatever we can on our behalf, what are our options? Your response was, well, typically this is not a CDD issue. Her response was, yeah, I agree it's not a CDD issue. So I had to dig further in and say, it entirely occurred on CDD property. Is not littering a problem? Is not, are there other things? To the maximum extent within the law, what actions can we take? That's what I'm trying to find out, not, well, you know,
So,
What are our chances to protect this asset?
yeah, so just to clarify, and I won't speak for Michelle, but my comment is based on, so you guys as board members and as a district, your duty, managers of assets, of course you can protect your assets, that sort of thing. When we start talking about potentially criminal offenses rather than necessarily damage to the building or something like that, it does wind up being more, in my opinion, just more of a law enforcement issue, and that's just from experience.
My question was not what can we do here,
Mhm.
it's what can I ask the law enforcement, or what can we push as a management company, as an attorney working for us, what can we bring to the law enforcement for additional charges or other repercussions from us because of what they've done here?
So you can, and again, I won't speak legally, I'll just speak from my experience, 20 years of doing this, and we run into this in every single community. The problem is, you can bring anything to law enforcement. You can push anything. You can say they did A through F, and we want to pursue it with the greatest degree that you can. Ultimately, though, it's law enforcement's discretion and decision, and you're going to, even in the same county, same sheriff's department, you're going to have some officers that come out, they would come out to your incidents, and they would be all over the people that were causing issues. And you might have others, like the one you ran into, that his decision...
I understand that, but when I ask what's the most we can do, I'm talking about us as a team brainstorming what can we do to put more teeth to this. And the answer back is, it's not to be something that we do. Well, that's not the question. The question is, what can we do? It is our decision to decide whether we do that or not.
Sure.
But I'm asking you and Michelle, what can we do? And then take me 3-4 emails back and forth. Well, Kim, is it not littering? Is it not this? Is it not that? It's up to the police to decide. Okay, well, I've asked if you guys would contact the police and provide this information regarding the bike theft, and then also push on our behalf maybe for these answers to my questions. I had to do that myself, and I did it myself, and I spoke to the officer, and I provided the information, and I wrote a letter. But why?
Well,
when I asked for that.
Let me ask you this, Andy.
Sure.
You have a long experience in this business. Me, that's my point of view. I think the best way to handle it is working with the HOA. Did you see it happening before?
Sure.
Will the CDD have an agreement with the HOA to enforce rules for amenity centers?
So I haven't seen it specifically as in agreement form necessarily, but there's definitely been collaboration because let's be realistic. A lot of times the folks in any community that cause problems, a lot of times they cause problems on both the HOA side and the CDD side. You might have somebody that's renting the house and for whatever reason they don't care who they rent to, and you have renters that maybe cause all sorts of issues. So I absolutely have seen that collaboration. And I think maybe some of the messaging, wasn't great when we talked, Kevin, because my emphasis was not that you couldn't do anything. My messaging should have been more that we have limitations. Once we hand something off to the police and we can push and that sort of thing. And Monica called the police as well and spoke to them. So, we can't go above and beyond or compel them to do something, I guess would be the better way I would put it.
And I'm not asking for that. This is an email between counsel, you, and myself saying, what can we do?
Yeah. I think,
help me understand.
Yeah.
Help me. Help us.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of answers to that. I get a lot of thoughts, but not direct answers.
Well, I think, and I apologize for that frustration. I think, and maybe it wasn't clear, I know, at least from my end, and I think Michelle as well, I think the answer, although it might be not be the perfect answer, but the answer was, we turn it over to law enforcement. I mean... Right,
but then my question was, we are turning over a bike theft to law enforcement. I would like us to brainstorm how we as a district, if there were additional violations of a law that we have standing in, like littering in our pond, I'm repeating myself.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted, in addition to the bike stuff. Because I said, if you give them videos, Related to a bike theft report, they are not going to look for littering charges.
Right. I mean, you could give them all the detail with it.
No, you're not looking for any details.
Yeah, we would give.
Here's the thing, they're not they actually called and told me they didn't get the videos after I had 2 emails, one from you and one from him.
I have a question. Not
They
that-
definitely got the videos.
Ramsey
Yeah.
County sheriff called me the same day, in the afternoon,
Okay.
5 hours later after your guys' emails.
They just don't want to do it.
So let me just see if I get a board decision on the sharing the image part before we go too far. Do you believe that sharing images in a small scale way with individuals that maybe I speak to, personally or select personally, does not reveal capabilities or vulnerabilities of the district security system?
Question, do those people have to be named publicly? Like say
I
you,
know.
okay, so if you came to me, let's just say, in another board, and you said, hey,
These are people that are like afraid of repercussions,
Okay.
they don't wanna be
Sure.
out on the record and so on, but they know everybody. And so it's like, hey, do you recognize this, is this the kid, whatever, oh, he lives across the street, he's whatever, it's like a lead.
Right.
That lead.
And we're not trying to do anything law enforcement, we're trying to say, hey, we're just double checking if you have access to actually use the pool.
So,
And stuff like that, so I would agree with you, but I have.
but let me ask, is that our lawyer, is that going to expose us to any kind of legal stuff?
I guess it just depends what camera angles you're providing them. Anything that can expose the security's vulnerabilities can.
So this define that.
Expose it.
So if I take a picture of a security camera, and now it shows the angle of where the camera is, are you saying but you can see where the camera is anyway, they're right on the side of the building.
Exactly, that's why it requires, she told me this requires a board decision, that's why I haven't used anything in advance of now.
Do we have any concealed cameras?
No.
That would be considered concealed when we pay for the installation?
No.
Okay.
And I'm not even pushing to roll the video in front of someone.
No, I'm just saying that's how
Screenshot.
preventative. that we're not-
Screenshot zoomed in, you can't tell, but even if you could tell, it's the board's decision. Do we believe this sharing would reveal capabilities or vulnerabilities of the district security system? If the board decides no, then I can proceed with having this other measure at my disposal, assuming that it's not, just for random purposes, it is in the conduction of business,
Yeah.
which is part number 2 here. She's already said that to me in writing, that
I have a
that is
point
what.
to bring up with it.
If you're going to use an individual to possibly identify the culprit, and they don't want to be identified, right? They don't want to make them who they are.
Not everybody, but some people are willing to sign affidavits and so on.
How do we protect that?
You can't, it's a public record.
This is
So this is
public,
what
this
GMS
is public record, so basically, the issue comes in that if it was something that would go to law enforcement, it would have to be disclosed, it would have to be named, they cannot be withheld, and then you're creating other issues of how do you decide who is allowed to see these things and who is not when this is all public, so you're going down a very touchy legal subject that I can tell you right now, it's either, for my vote, it's either anybody can have access to it, or it's only the board. Because you're just gonna create too many problems or potential problems, too many gray areas. I will not have any legal aspect to deal with that.
Even our past attorney said, yes, it can be done. And she wouldn't, and gave these same instances and said he wouldn't suggest that it be, posted publicly, shared publicly, emailed publicly. The smaller the focus is, say the focus group or whatever, the better, better off you are, but these are the criteria that need to be met. And
So here's what I hear. And I had a call with Counsel and with Kai as well on what I was legally allowed to do as far as reaching out to past vendors and stuff, and we had a nice conversation. And here's my take from that conversation, I think it applies for here as well. I think they firmly feel this has, we protect the building asset in budgets, funds, raising money, and making motions to make things better. That this, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, they don't want anything to do with this kind of stuff. So this is anti-community. It's not something that we need to be putting resources into these things and stuff. And I think it goes to more of their experience or personality or whatever they see as their organizations to be involved in. I just think personally that it's not a stance they're willing to push for. So we're now, let's say you personally, because you're the one leading the charge, we're now butting heads with our, council, and no one wants to do that, but we just want clarity in the situation.
Yeah.
And even when we get clarity, we also get that, well, you can do that, but, and I don't want to speak for other people, but I feel like you guys don't want to do it either. Like, it's noise, it goes nowhere, legally could bite you in the ass down the road, like, you can't protect someone's, and you guys just say, yeah, that's not really running the community, just worry about protecting the assets.
Well, yeah, but
you can't vouch for what a judge, every judge is gonna rule differently,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they could give us advice and a judge that it goes before
Oh,
could decide
right.
differently.
But
So,
their experience, they're like, yeah, we'll just punt this, we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
well,
in our previous management and council were the same.
And just to be clear to Kevin's point from earlier, I think clearly, I think my own opinion is yes, manager of assets, and we're not, unfortunately, as a district board, and I sit on one, we don't necessarily get involved in personal property crimes and stuff like that. However, when something does happen, we do the handoff to the police. We give them every bit of information and detail we can. I think that is an important role because if we have it, we can hand it off. Now, I will say, and this kind of piggybacks on all of this, is from a video perspective. We have lots of communities that have videotape. My community has them. And what I have seen, at least the most common thing, and I'm not saying this is the only thing, because obviously different opinions of attorneys, different opinions of judges. The most common thing I have seen is that generally speaking, besides the board members who have access to video, as far as who you give video for, most boards, board choice, they take a very strict stance that video doesn't get released to anybody outside of the board unless it's a police officer. So if there's an active case and the officer says, hey, I need some video of a bike being taken, we give that, and we give them any detail and color that goes along with it. Like, for example, hey, they threw the bike in our pond, and that's a problem. That's littering or whatever the case. Again, they can choose to do nothing with it. And honestly, from a management perspective or from a board member's perspective, once we give them that and give them that detail, generally we do kind of wash our hands of it. And that, when people come back to us, that gives us at least the perspective to residents and whatnot to help them understand, look, we would love to be able to enforce everything, protect everybody's stuff, but really that is law enforcement. We've given them everything we can. We're happy to give them more, but that's usually the delineation.
So it seems like the only way you can handle these situations here is to work with the HOA lawyer.
Well,
They need to
the
get
situation that we're discussing right now is in the situation, like you said, where somebody else let somebody in, for example, or they jumped the fence or whatever. Well, jump the fence, call the police, get it. You let some of the people in, they do violations. The only person we can go after is the person who let them in.
Right.
Period. End of story. There could be a situation where someone was at the pool that I happen to know this has happened, and they said, the other one reached out to me and said, I know who that is. I saw so-and-so, I saw someone come in here, I know that he lives across the street from me. He's friends with my son. Like, I get that information. I can't do anything with it, is what you're saying. Or am I wrong? I mean,
Well,
can I tell the police?
there's
Can I tell the police that 3 people told me that their son and daughter were at the bus stop and that kid's name is X and he lives on XYZ street?
Well, there's 2 separate things here, right? If they come in here, like your example you just gave, if they come in here and do something wrong in here, you have rules. You can certainly enforce that. If somebody tells you they came in here and then they left and, I don't know, did something outside of the gate, then you're limited. But if they're doing something incorrect in the amenity or on your grounds, certainly that's why you have rules.
Well, there's also a difference here. You're saying unsolicited, without video, camera, whatever, somebody came and provided you information. that's usable.
Okay.
Now, law enforcement's gonna say you can't provide it. They would have to provide it, because otherwise, it's just
Yeah.
more or less a
Is this
hearsay.
more
It's
of
somewhat
a-
usable, but they're not going to investigate third-party information. But that's different from involving the camera system.
So would
Because
you, would it be,
from that
would you
perspective.
have to say to the officer, my friend so-and-so has a kid on that bus, maybe you could call her to try to find out who stole this bike? Of course they won't, but
Yeah.
that's
Or
the
do
only
you,
thing I did.
or do you have to go to your neighbor and say,
But that's-
can you please file a police
that-
report
that's-
and have the follow up as a community, not with the board?
You know how I see it too, though, that's the crazy part, like, we have a lot of people complaining about it, when it comes to take action, nobody
They
wants
won't
to
take
take action,
action.
they want us to face everything.
So ultimately, the answer can be, if you know something, and
You
you
do
don't come up,
yourself.
that's your problem,
Yeah,
I can't help you.
yeah.
I can't help you.
Yeah.
with that.
Well,
Like,
again,
like
you
say,
could,
here's the
it,
Crime Stopper.
if something has been stolen and we have it on video, we can certainly help in that regard.
Of course.
You know, if we have basically any information that we can provide, if
Yeah.
some crime was committed and they traversed across here, you know, those things you can.
All about these things like, oh, he said, she said.
So
Then can you talk to him? No, I'm not. You do it as a. I mean, with board members, we're not superheroes.
This is a
We are
good
limited to-
lead
You're
into,
not cops either.
Yeah, we're not cops.
Leah Obring sent in an email about all these things that she's seen in the neighborhood or whatever. And my first thought was, well, please.
Yeah.
And I think that might be, a knee-jerk reaction too, but it also should be, we're not involved in any of that, and I don't think we want to be involved. I think the question here is for Kevin to say, when I want to reach out on behalf of the CDD, because it's in the pond now, and I'll make this up, and it's an environmental issue that he threw the bike in the pond.
Yeah.
Like, where do we get you guys engaged to act on our behalf, to engage with the police to say, yeah, we have an environmental issue. We
So
want
the problem is, you have no footage, you have no proof. I'm saying, when you have footage, it's completely different. When you have footage.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
we
think-
can do it in our property, but like, for somebody's like, oh, I saw so did it, why didn't you call the cops?
I think it's reasonable to assume that if a kid threw a bike in a pond, we could very easily, Kai, your management team, could go to the sheriff's department and say, hey, and also he threw it in the pond. They're just not going to act on it. I mean, unfortunately, we can do it, but I just...
Yeah.
But I mean, saying that law enforcement is not going to do their job is not the reason for not providing information, asking them to do it.
I agree with you 100%. Like I said, I mean, that's part of the detail that we provide to them, that, okay, this happened and these several things along with it. I'm just saying the end result.
So I have a few more points to make. I'm good, no images ever, and that's it on that topic. But we were talking about, like, when there's non-criminal activity going here that is either reported because it's a safety concern or whatever. I've been here at times, I know Rabah's been here at times where I approached people and noted who I was, and that I observed them doing something that is against our rules. And again, not something that looks like I'm about to get knifed or shit or whatever, just what an amenity center staff member would have done were they here.
Sure.
Michelle advised that we should never approach anybody and talk to them about anything. I disagree with that, because if we decided not to have staff, and again, my question to her was associated with a camera. I said, if I was to approach and discuss something with someone who was maybe doing a violation or something at the amenity center, can I use a camera, either a worn one or a phone, for my own safety, to record the interaction and make sure, and maybe as an extension of our security system. So her response, and this was just 2 days, her response was not yes or no, not yes you legally can, no you legally can't. It was, you should never approach people for any reason because of liability. I never recommend this, and I recommend you look into getting private security. And so my response was, I asked the question, but I didn't get an answer. I asked about the camera and legally whether I can or not. I value your opinion. The whole board should know what the opinion is. We should discuss that and so on. But I just wanted to know about the legality of camera being on if you were interacting with people. So it created all kinds of different questions for me, her response, because I thought it was fully appropriate for us as board members and legal to interact with residents if we see them in a non-threatening manner violating the rules of the amenity center. Why would we have any less rights than an employee who has possibly less knowledge of situations than we do?
I think what Michelle was getting at was she doesn't want to promote you guys doing that. So it's not illegal for you to walk around with a camera around the pool and approach people. You can do that, of course, but it just increases your chances of an altercation.
The altercation, yeah.
You
Getting
talk to the
hit,
wrong
pushed in the
kid,
pool,
piss off
shame.
the parent. And so that's why we think it's better to have an on-site security team. That way you guys as board members aren't going and approaching people. You're not going and saying, hey, do you live here? You know, piss off the wrong parent. Who knows? I mean, they might get physical. Our job is to protect you guys from a liability standpoint.
But there's your opinion and your experiences. And then there's also what I think Kevin's saying is, what is he allowed to do? Like, there's no expectation of privacy in public.
We, as a firm, our position is that we cannot advise you guys to approach residents. We think it's better for you guys to have a security team, hire cops, but it's not illegal for you to do it. We just can't, we can't promote you guys doing that.
I understand, I'm not looking, so there's two different things here, and I think, Ron, you understand what I'm saying. I don't discount your opinion, and I value it 100%. I ask a question, I like an answer to the question, and then your opinion. Not just your opinion, not the answer to the question. So when it comes to this particular thing about approaching people, not approaching people, we as a board obviously decided that we did not think amenity personnel, security, or something was worth the money. So my follow-up question to her was, what can the private security person, the off-duty hired police officer that's here during certain hours, what can they do when they observe an instance that we can't? What can they do for documentation? What kind of additional enforcement powers do they have? You know, she said to me, that's a great question to ask the security company.
It depends on the security company.
That would be part of the security company, but more than likely hiring an off-duty cop.
Yes.
All they can do is say, hey, this is what I observed, and give that to an on-duty cop.
Right, which is what we do.
And we're gonna be paying them an overtime rate for them
So all I
to be
wanted
sitting
to do
there
was inform the board of
relating.
that discussion, and where it led was, I asked Andy if he would engage some of these security companies that may become highly recommended, have someone come to us and answer those questions.
So basically, it seems like the best way to do it, if you see something, as a board member, you see it, you think it's wrong, the best way, that's the middle ground between us and then you call the cops, whatever we're talking. When the cops show up, then you start talking, probably it will be the same way. What do you think?
Say that.
So when you see something as a board member, instead of approaching it, don't approach it, call the cops. When the cops get here, then you can.
So I mean, yes, if you see a kid riding around on a bike around the pool, you can ask him to stop. You know, that's dangerous, but you can't pull the kid off the bike.
No, yeah, for sure.
So if someone's smoking weed, sitting out in the cabana, which happens all the time.
I would not advise the board to approach that guy.
Okay, so then maybe they start to
So you call the police and you say that, but most of amenity center violations are not law enforcement calls.
That's why we want to invite Manatee County out next month to educate
So
them
here's what it seems
and try to work something out.
It seems like the lawyer, the law office, not anyone specific, has their principles in the matter. And they're, I don't want to say line in the sand, but the way they're always going to lead, and they're never going to ask us to engage, and we're not asking permission to. But there are instances where we would like to at least be able to say something, and you're never going to come off the idea of it's never a good time to do that.
Well,
So, and I get that, that's fine.
If a kid's riding around on a bike around the pool, you can go up to him and say, hey, where's your parents? Like, don't do that. But if it's a judgment call, right? It's not illegal to approach people, but as board members, it's you got to think about it from the
I think it was very
liability.
clear in asking my question to her and asking if also that a company with a camera was violating the rules or laws. So I think we're on the same page that we can continue to address non-dangerous situations if we see violations at the pool.
You can, whatever your eyes can see in the public, you can record. And if somebody says, oh, this is not it's a private thing, it's not a.
Right, and all I was looking for was, yes, you can do it, but it should be safe,
So
it needs to
you
be
can
provided.
record whatever you
Yeah.
What is the
basically. But so
Still don't know.
So it's between, so basically what I'm thinking is we'll get into, we have two routes. Okay, if there's a criminal thing, you call the cops. And the other route is, if you want to enforce the rules like enforce them, we need to work with the HOA.
there's gonna be an immediate thing, you know, like, I don't know, again, I don't know how it works, if there's gonna be an agreement. Like, there was a rule that was broken in Manatee Center, board decided it's a break-in, it's a, something somebody did, something against the rules, you just pass it to the HOA and to the attorneys straight up.
If there's
Well-
a known violation of your rules, you can also suspend that owner if you're able to identify them, just like we did this evening as well.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was gonna add, that, you know, you also have that ability.
Talking about something, beyond suspension, it comes to the fine conversation. So I want to inform the board as well about some of the discussions back and forth with Michelle and I regarding that. As you recall, at the last meeting, she had said that there was nothing we could do with regard to those fines that were a levy. As she stated her opinion that supposedly those fines were properly advised. And so I followed up with her the very next day and said, well, wait a second. Isn't there something we can do, like send a letter to the people that were fined? Maybe they never got the letter. Let's send it certified again. Let's remind them that they were fined, that they're not in good standing, or whatever terminology you want to use, and that perhaps their home, their house, if it's an investor, their house, or maybe houses, cannot have access until they come back in good standing. Asked her to investigate all of these things. She said, yeah, we probably can write a letter. I was like, okay, that is something, right? But then she did a deeper dive. Came back with what I sent you all. They were able to send that. It was her analysis of the fines and the legalities of it, and her opinion that we don't have authorization to do so. And if we do so, we may be running afoul of some debt collection laws or whatever. So I made sure that was all sent to you all. So what this amounted to, I guess, and what I really want to make sure everybody understands regarding this whole fine thing. Remember, we fined 4 owners, all right? And so this was on advice and process laid out in detail by our former counsel. So we didn't win this, right? And so this is our former counsel is one that claimed to have the most CDDs in all of Florida represented. And yet they have a diametrically opposed view on fines to our current attorney. And so regarding those four owners, okay, we would have thought that maybe at least then it had some teeth, right? We were told that the fines went to the owner, not the tenant in the case of a tenant owner. So that was good because we wanted the owners to take some serious responsibility. If they live in Hong Kong or California and they own 10 properties here and they don't care what's happening, that was good news to me that we were able to do that. I thought that was going to have some teeth, and I thought we were leading to maybe if the landlord didn't pay the fine, we could at least withhold access cards to future tenants and maybe even again expand it to other properties they own as an investor. But once she dug in deep and formulated her opinion and wrote that up to all of us, what we basically learned, or where we've come to, is that we can't find it all going forward with Appleton Reiss representing us, because she won't do that. Okay, she made it very clear.
Is that just a standard principle you guys go by, or is that specific to us? So like, the last thing we want to do is butt heads with our counsel.
It's not specific to you guys.
No, we can't. But hold on, before we get into, just let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
And so, not only can we not fine moving forward, we can't pursue any means of collecting those fines that they believe we've done in error. That includes sending them letters. So she backed off on sending letters to them at all to notify them that they had been fined. Informing the owners, making sure the owners actually knew, because some of these owners list their addresses as here, even if they live somewhere else. So the tenant, do you think the tenant gives the violation mail that they get? I don't know. But we can't remind them even that fines have been issued. And we cannot withhold access from that landlord's new tenants, either, the landlord that didn't pay the fines.
That's not what she said.
No, that's exactly what she said. And she also said that we'd be in violation of the what? What's the
Fair Debt Collection
Fair Debt Collection Act if we even bring this up again, the fines. So let me just say that in one case, one of the fined landlords, he owns 2 homes in this neighborhood, okay? Never paid his fines. Both homes have new tenants that weren't here at the time of the fines. GMS inadvertently gave those new tenants, even of the violation, the home, gave them new access. And as of this week, both new homes have separate amenity center suspensions, the tenants of the new homes. So I just wanted everyone here to know that we are impotent in dealing with these issues and these out-of-state investors who are basically contributing to the destruction of the community.
Just to add one point, because, and Jared was your previous district council. I've worked with him for 15 years, and I work with probably across the state, at least in some districts, with every single attorney group that works in districts. Just to let you know, it is a very unique thing that was his opinion. So I just want to point out, it's not just Michelle's firm that's unique. And I would just add that additionally, I called other law firms just to ask, just to probe and say, hey, do you have any districts where they do fines? And I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I just want to give you some of the facts of the situation. I talked to, and I think so Jared's firm, they deal with a lot of developer boards, so they have a huge number. I spoke with the firm that has the largest number of resident boards, okay, in the state of Florida, and I had never experienced. I've been on probably 50 districts with them over the time, and I had never experienced it, but I did double check. I said, hey, I just want to know, maybe I'm missing one that I didn't manage, and they kind of had the same exact opinion that you can't, again, not passing judgment on it at all, but I just want you to be aware of kind of.
That's it. And don't get me my directness or even frustration the wrong way. I'm putting out to the board, and the one time a month I have an opportunity to talk to them. This is where we stand.
Sure.
This is where it is going forward. And what happened before, it's like it didn't happen, and there's no repercussions for it.
So you guys are legal for CDD, right?
Yes,
Do you also do HOAs?
yes.
Okay. So is there a distinct difference between HOAs are supposed to go around and find people. They're supposed to measure your lawn and that type of stuff. So is that really the route? Is that this is not a CDD thing? Somehow this has to be a CDD community thing, and then we don't tell the police, unless it's criminal, of course criminal. But we go to the HOA and we say, hey HOA, we have homeowners that are violating the policies of the community, and we push it to them.
Yeah, so HOAs do have express authority to fine, and so that was one of the main things in Michelle's email was there's a lack of authority out there saying CDDs can do what you guys want.
Okay.
And so and that dovetails with what Andy was saying. I think I do want to clarify that I think that there isn't a route, even if they're not doing criminal violations. So if they're on the property and they're violating the amenity rules, there still may be ways to have them trespass from the property. I don't think so. It's not just if they're committing criminal activities that you have to call the cops. I think if you can consider them as trespassers if they're not occupying the property the way you want. At least that would be my argument to the cops. It's ultimately their decision to decide what to do with that. But
Sure. But so there's different issues. So it's past that issue of the trespassing and approaching somebody. For this, where it's a documented fine, so this week we should just come up and agree, as Rob mentioned before, this might be something where we have to work in tandem with the HOA, and that's like the last thing we want to do is butt heads with our primary suppliers, and you guys. But we also want to be heard. We also have questions, and if it's just a more of an understanding of, hey, it's just not done. Regardless of what you can legally do, it's just not an avenue that you guys in the industry, not you guys personally, do. That's fine. So let's know. We'll find another avenue to do it. So I think that's the route.
Just for clarification,
and I don't really.
From the HOA perspective, currently the HOA does not have a fining committee, so they cannot fine. They cannot take our fine and convert it to them.
Okay.
And there is still the aspect that the covenants would have to be reviewed to determine whether a fine can be converted to a lien. So that does not, it's all a matter of the documents and how they're written. So they're still, depending on how that is.
Maybe they can, HOA, they cannot put liens on the houses, but the lawyer can put a lien. If it gets to the lawyer, that's why they don't have a finding committee, everything goes through the lawyer. You get first warning, the second warning, and then it's gonna be, you did
The lawyer actually finds that.
Yeah.
But they're not even, but they're not able to find,
No, they have.
they're not able to find through the lawyer, their lawyer makes the resident pay the
No,
lawyer fees.
yeah, the
Right.
lawyer,
Just the
yeah, the
fees,
lawyer's
it's not-
charging them a fee for the letter.
Yeah.
They're not being fined, and then it's
Okay.
on, so, but even that, like, if you don't pay your assessment, there is a lien process, intent to lien and all of that. But as far as, you know, you're then getting into, it's the attorney fees, not the money to the association. So the lien would be the attorney's office filing a lien for their fees. And they're not gonna take, and even if they did take the person's house, I mean, that's that's the law firm, so.
So what was the premise that you thought you could find?
Oh, our amenity policy as written and provided by the developer says that you can fine up to $1,000 for violations. So that's where it all comes from.
And they said, in order to do that, we have to do this paperwork and send this letter and have
We
this
did all
hearing,
this
and
stuff.
they did all that stuff, so.
So anyway,
So anyway, those are all wrong.
yeah, and that's the best part. We were bashed, Kevin specifically was bashed, and he came from this board that, oh, we have the best attorney and you
Right,
too
right,
much.
right.
And here you go, here's your answer today. Anyway, let's move forward. So we're gonna work with the HOA, see what we can do about it. Next item, agenda, please.
Still to the attorney.
That's item 2 out of 10.
Yeah, so ultimately, that's what's happening. Michelle's reached out to George, and the goal is to try to come up with the best possible approach that we can within the rules, regulations, and laws.
Fair enough.
They're fully aware of our situation now and what our goals are, I think.
All right. Go through manager's report. It's relatively quick report. We spoke with the folks at the other community about their sign. It's somebody that I've worked with before, who's with the Pointe group that's in charge of the signs, I guess. But in any case, they're willing to, or they're interested in keeping the signs up. They would pay the district $500 per month. I would also suggest that if you do want to go that route, that we go back to them and say, we'll do that, and you also take care of the flowers up front so that they match.
So did we hear about the flower?
No, they didn't answer that.
So you know
That's
what it is?
why.
Now what it is, I think it's gonna be cut and dry today, if you guys agree with me. A palm tree, some rocks, and then there.
Okay.
I'm not waiting for them. I have nothing
Instead of
to
flowers
yeah.
on both sides.
A palm tree and the same rocks and then there.
Because it's a postage stamp.
It's our first
Yeah.
entrance, you know?
Yeah.
And for the sign, are they gonna be paying for the previous years?
I'll negotiate that
Yeah,
in.
just-
Well, just tell
Yeah.
them, yeah, I say, you know.
How long?
Since
How?
the turnover,
Well, it's been
a year.
No, yeah, but I'm saying, that sign's been up there since they built that and put the wall up, so it's been, what, 5 years?
No, basically what I'm saying is.
That might be a
No,
tough
I'm not
one.
saying we should go back 5
Since,
years.
since the turnover from the developer, from us. So
Okay.
It's been a year?
Or since we voted to have them take down the sign because we weren't supporting it for free.
Yeah.
Even then, it's
Giving
Well,
fine.
and then if you notice, the other thing, just keep in mind, where the sign is, there's no bushes in front of it.
Yeah.
So you take that sign down, now we have to replace all the hedges.
So this will be summary minutes. Why don't we real quick come up with what's a reasonable? I understand 5 years should be, but what's reasonable that we want to get 1 year?
Since the turnover, supposedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll talk with them about that. That's no problem. We'll get that,
Yeah.
and I'll
And it's only that
And for
one
the
Del
flower,
Webb
for the
sign.
flower beds, because they still pay us, how much they pay us, Laura, $3,000 a year? Don't even mention nothing to them, let them pay.
okay.
It is what it is.
Okay.
I will just put a palm tree over there and.
That's fine. We'll talk to them about that, and we would probably do a very basic agreement for the 500, so you have it on record. And
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, okay. The other thing, I passed out as part of the stack of stuff, this right here. So I only passed it out, and the QR code is dummied up right now. It goes to another community, but I just wanted to make sure the verbiage was okay with everybody.
Are you serious?
Well,
I mean, really, Andy.
Look,
It's completely perfect.
I know, but
So, are we gonna blow kisses here?
some people want very specific things, but the other important point was, and I talked with Kevin about this as the chair. Figured as long as I'm bringing it back, so we can we put these on posts usually, but we can also mount them. So I assume, in fact, Rabah, I know you were talking about the sign. Maybe go to that sign person and have them create it. Probably.
And we have it probably by the mailbox, whatever.
Yeah, I've got 4 locations you guys gave me.
Yeah,
So-
probably.
Mailbox by the bathrooms, because people have comments when they come in and out of a bathroom.
Dog park.
Gate, dog park, just.
Yeah.
But mail them if there's no point to them here.
Okay.
I mean, these ones can come down, and that could go on there. The
Yeah.
Eagle Point reset, it's now a year old, but it sounds like it's current, because it says November 15th. I mean, it's November 15th last year. Those are hanging up all over the place.
We'll get those down.
Might as well
Yeah.
get those down.
Okay, easy enough. The the other item, Gary had gotten together a couple quotes actually related to Christmas lights. We had one for this year which had 2 options. One would be a lease, or one would be you own the stuff. That was one item, and then piggybacked off that, that particular person provided us a quote for permanent lights, which was pretty expensive, and we have other permanent light companies that we can get quotes from. So didn't know. You can discuss it, of course.
So the first estimate was for the lease is 12,000, for to own is 20, but it's not changing color lights.
Right.
Which, if it was changing color lights and stuff, I would say that's
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
The other one, probably you guys didn't receive it, I was the only one who received it, it's not even worth it, because it is asking $40,000. I mean, you are making, heaven and earth here for $1,000.
The
Yeah,
ones.
I know, it does change color. Which one? Which one does change color?
It described it changes colors.
It says soft white, so it doesn't.
Being the holiday season,
Seasonal,
we're in the
yeah,
holiday
you can have-
season, are we gonna chase these lights for
The
this
ones
year?
that are-
Or just punt it for next year?
No, this, if
Might as
you
well.
put it, they're gonna give you maybe to 7 years. And here,
No, what I'm saying.
We might as well wait till like
Next year.
summer where
Yeah.
it's probably cheaper to
Yeah.
have them installed than
Yeah.
Most
right before Christmas.
Yeah, most of them sign contracts typically in July for
That's
like
the
an
best way to
October
do it.
install and flip it on Thanksgiving.
That's what we should.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, it doesn't hurt to go another year without like the lights, you know?
Yeah, and it'll give us plenty of time to
Yeah,
kind
so
of
we
get
just
some good
table that.
quotes. Okay. Let me see here. The other thing I had was the approval of the meeting minutes. I passed that as well with the stack of stuff. Kevin had some edits, so the motion for approval would be with any of these amendments as well as any that anybody else would want to provide. And as well, since you've just received this evening, you can always table, but I leave that up to you as a board. If you are prepared, we're just looking for a motion to approve.
I think the procedure was- yeah, I mean, there's
It's
really-
Kevin who redoes the minutes, like, helps out or.
Yeah,
recaps the minutes, so.
some corrections and whatnot, yeah.
That's why they give it to you for the meeting, if you have anything to add. I mean, what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, anybody at any time can, when we send the package out or whatnot, you can always send me back any edits to the minutes.
Okay, so go all the way back to the beginning of this meeting, where a member of the community said the edits were self-grangerizing. I don't know exactly what he said, but whatever. So is there a process, because it made it seem like these were already accepted, put in the books, let's move on. Is that the case? And is there any process that you can just change the minutes any way you want?
So let me give you real good advisement on this, and I did this when I first started here. These minutes really, as much as you can, need to get to summary. It should be very, objective, not subjective, because, potentially any board member can say, well, it didn't include this, and they put something in there that somebody perceives make them look good, and then somebody says, well, they didn't put what the other guy said.
Sure.
And next thing you know, you've got 60 pages of minutes. So the best thing, in my opinion, and I always try to say that, bullet points of action items, things people are doing, and motions of what you decided. All the other discussion, it's on the recording.
Right, yeah, that's what I was
you
gonna
know.
say. He can say whatever he
No,
wants to say. You have your
I'm not specific
according to
about what
what
he
he
said,
said.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, those meetings from this last meeting, minutes from last meeting, I mean,
I went through it, there was really nothing special, it's just saying, well, we don't do the business and that's it, so I will motion to approve it.
Okay.
Did I, miss, we're talking about the meeting minutes?
Meeting minutes.
And
Yeah.
I asked, what is one of the rules if someone thinks that you change the vibe or the gist of the minute?
My question would be, did it happen or did it not happen?
Yeah, because so the minutes only reflect things that were said, things that happened. That's what they should always do. So again, anything else is contextual. To Jim, he might feel that what Kevin put made Kevin look great. To somebody else, they might feel that there wasn't enough about what Ronald said. Yeah, it becomes subjective, and that's why, again, and you may have noticed the minutes have gotten shorter and shorter because I'm trying to kind of, because to me it's a sweet spot also, because I'm brand new to you guys as a board and I need to understand what's important to you. But
What's important, as you said, it's what this business decision we have in the meeting and keep moving forward. So
Yep.
when you
So
have
because I
everything-
was in the bathroom, my question is, what about the amendments? Not knowing?
so we have a motion basically for the minutes with the amendments provided that everybody got a
Okay, I
copy
didn't know
of.
that. I walked
Yeah.
down the middle of it. I walked down the middle.
Yep. Oh no worries.
My point, I just think, if someone states they should be identified by name.
Yep.
Not, a resident said this.
Yeah.
If they start by saying, you have to say for the record, my name is so-and-so, and this is my opinion, then it should not be, the person's name should be in there. If it was
Yeah.
missed or heard in the audio, it should be there. Talking about the conflicted supervisor, I think the conflicted supervisor should be named. Which one of us is the conflicted supervisor? It's William. So I don't want someone to look at these minutes later on out of context and not know who this is being discussed.
So I'm just going to get super specific on that. So hypothetically, if in the meeting, if Mr. Hathaway was referred to as the conflicted supervisor verbally, we would have to have that because it has to be what was actually said. I know it sounds weird, but I mean, and I don't even know if that was the case. I don't remember, but
It says, I mean, again, every single meeting is recorded.
Yep.
So I don't know what we could.
no, there's always a recording.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
All right. Well, did we have a second to those meeting minutes being adopted? Okay. Any additional discussion or comments?
No.
All right. Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. So that was my manager's report, and then we would move into discussion items. And you had two items there. You had the first one was discussion of audio, video equipment, and possible cost sharing with the HOA. So
There's that in the point, the sheriff HOA, it's community lunch.
Yeah.
Just somebody buy it and.
So, I mean, the issues that we have, saying that the recording is available, you can't hear me if the microphone's over there, you can't, you get it. So I just wanted to invest in also a camera, so that the camera, audio and microphones, and the ability to store that and make it available online. Andy, we talked about that. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
And you talked about some innovative ideas for storage rather than paying for web storage, possibly investigating, looking at YouTube, private link only, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at that. So
you can do. YouTube's probably the easiest. Obviously there's a couple things.
This issue having a board here.
What's that?
Go viral.
I have districts where they have had viral videos, so yeah, definitely
I
have.
know Ying about this because he's a techno geek and he used his own equipment for the HOA meeting.
Okay.
And we're talking about he had a dual camera, it would see the board at the same time it would see the audience. He's like, that was like $600 or something. And then the microphones, they're probably next to nothing, putting them in a few spots. And even I've been typically go to a public meeting, a person steps up to the mic in maybe a larger setting, like a city or town meeting. Step up to the mic, give your name, give your comment. That way it goes,
Yeah, we have basic and elaborate podiums at many meetings, and it does help. Having somebody come up and speak.
How much we're looking for, like between cameras and maybe
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even looking for a board, I'm looking to see if board is interested, and then I would just, like, talk to Bill, for example, who's really got the insight on all these cameras, a professional photographer as well.
I think that's a good idea.
Get a price for mics, audio. I only don't know, though, I know he used to plug it into his computer, because at the time it's recording, it needs a place to go. And I don't know if we have a laptop, it's in there, but whether or not, the laptop is purchased, whether it's got the guts that it needs to be able to do this, or whether it's cheaper to just buy a laptop these days.
But it comes in 2 years, whatever link you're using right now. You can put the microphones in 2 years Zoom link.
I was gonna say, will that interface with what you guys use and with the for transcribing?
So generally speaking, yes. In a lot of cases where we have districts that have audiovisual equipment, we run the same sort of Teams or Zoom meetings, and it does integrate basically. I mean, we have some districts that we could talk to find out, you know, I have one in mind. There's Watergrass 2, which is up in Pasco County, and they have a similar size clubhouse actually, and you know, they have a mic that comes down from the ceiling. They have, I don't know where the camera is, but they have a camera with a screen, and I mean, it wasn't a heck of a lot of money, and it works out pretty well for them.
I think that's what
So I think you know, Kevin's point, I don't want to speak for you, but just if there's interest, we'll pursue getting that sort of info and kind of bringing it back. So we probably don't need to talk about it too much this evening. Get you the info first and see if it's a good fit or how you want to tweak it.
Sounds good. I want a motion to do that.
You just give if there's general consensus, yeah, we'll do it.
Because no decision's being made, you're still looking to come back with stuff. I mean, Andy, you and I can forward, like, you can talk to your people that you know do this, Andy, because I want to make sure it's compatible with whatever you need.
Yeah.
Probably keep it here. The only reason for talking about clustering with HOA is because they can use it
For their meetings, yeah.
Yeah, but the question is
We don't want to just
I
coordinate.
saw somebody from Frontier come in. Are we anywhere with moving to Frontier
So-
because the internet sucks here anyway?
I don't want to open a can of worms, but I will briefly. So I spoke with GMS. Well, first we went through Frontier and Spectrum and all that type stuff, and I reviewed invoices and everything. You did not get converted over to Frontier, so I know there was some thought that it may have. It never happened. It can happen, obviously.
Well, the thing was they were supposed to come in and I guess tell us what it would take to install it.
Got it.
What? What is it?
I guess this side of the or this our lot does not have like access to Frontier. They would have to like drop a line in for the building to get.
Don't we have Frontier for the internet, but they never converted the security system, so now we have whatever Comcast.
Oh, is that what
or
it is?
security
Do you
system.
definitely have it for the internet?
Yeah, we have a Frontier bill.
Okay.
It's this signal right here is Frontier.
They switched, yeah.
But
Okay.
it was, Andy, it was when the audible alarm stopped working.
Yeah.
Or it dysfunctioned one day.
Well, that was
You found out that it was because the internet went down.
that was Spectrum.
Right, and that,
Yeah.
and that made me say to you,
Why?
shouldn't be Spectrum because we
Yeah.
converted to Frontier.
So
and
we're
that's,
paying for both?
that's when we learned that we
Well, so
partially converted or whatever.
yeah,
So,
we'll get
if you guys can handle it, just switch to
yeah we'll get some clarity on that then. Yeah.
Because we wanted the Frontier because it was better for the audio
And
and the video cameras because it was
Right.
a better bandwidth and everything. That was what was supposed to happen, but they somehow botched it, I guess.
Right.
We can get that straight pretty
Yeah.
easily. So the next discussion item was about additional cameras around the amenity center. I know we talked with Thomas Giella, who is with Complete IT, did the other cameras. So I think I saw an email where you might have given him some
So we
specifics.
don't need to talk about this much because him and I did a Zoom meet with the aerial photograph of this plus our current cameras up on our screen. I was pointing and drawing and showing him the views that we had, and he was looking at street view and his drone footage
Sure.
before where the trees are, where the blind spots are. We talked about this as a board before with maps, but it kind of just didn't go forward because of all other stuff like changeover and whatnot. But he's also aware of where the boxes are that he needs to run wires from and so on. So he thinks that he has the best solution, with all of the types of cameras, the obstructions, the views we need to get. They include, 2 new poles as opposed to mounting on the buildings because of the building obstructions.
Yep.
And they're within access of, pulling wires, that are too difficult to do and so on. So he is tasked with, over the next couple of weeks, putting together a proposal for us with the graphics and stuff like he did before,
Mm-hmm.
the prices, where the things will be located, and the total cost of pulling the additional wires, and any additional, administrative costs for having more cameras and whatnot. He'll get that to us so that we can do it at the next meeting.
My question is, what they need to install, like, 360 cameras, or some option?
Well, then he's very technical, so.
And tilt and zoom.
Yeah, but pan, tilt, and zoom only work when somebody's actively on.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
if you're not in there pan, tilting, and zooming, it's,
Right.
you're paying
And
more
there's
for a
other
camera
issues
than you
where
can.
the 180 cameras were only recently just indoor rated. He says now they're improved so that they can be used outdoors, but he said they're terrible in low light. And so he's like, we have very detailed discussions, like why not a 180 on that side, 180 on that side because it's still light from the street and stuff, but not over there because it's so dark. And he's gonna put this proposal before us, so. that's
So
all
we'll get that queued up probably for the next agenda. So, okay. Next,
The reason for it is that we have.
well, we have blind spots,
gaps.
yeah.
And even like the screen, coming through the screen multiple times, or the screen being cut. And so, you guys know this because we talked about it before. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
since you're talking about the screen, are we done with this line here?
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so.
So, the screens, Gary, that's on you if you wanna help.
Yeah, we'll
with
get
that.
the company to come
We
out.
need kick plates in the bottom instead of screens.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But
Yeah.
the thing is,
Yeah.
and actually we are going to need to rescreen because the screen is rotted and actually it's cut in different locations. It's too old, and they use poor quality screen, so I would go with like the new seams ones, a little bit thicker. Just get us a quote for that for the next meeting if it's possible.
Kick plate's a good
So
idea.
we'll-
The kick plates, I don't even,
Yeah.
just put it down there.
Usually would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you think,
Yeah.
So if you can do that,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
What else?
Next item is item 7, financial reports. I would recommend we table this to the next meeting. Those financials came out to you today,
Today,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, so I want you to have time to look at it. It's not a big deal. You don't have to approve it by month. So I'll put that on the next agenda. And then that would take us to item 8, which is supervisor requests and general audience comments. I guess first, we can go through the supervisors and then go to audience, if that's okay?
Sure.
So,
I have one thing, I don't know if you, who's in this board communicating with the management company? I don't know, this one you do, I do, or else? You do?
Depends on what it
So.
is.
y'all can.
Yeah, so what it is, I mentioned it in the last meeting.
Yeah.
I mentioned it again now. What is going on? I don't know if I'm the only one. It's probably you talk to her too. I don't have a response from your community manager.
Okay.
Nothing.
So I will talk to Monica about that. So 2 things. Number 1, we're getting Monica some additional help. Number 2, probably a little bit more importantly, we've had a huge amount of activity that she's been taking on since coming here. Not your fault. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we basically, in our proposal for amenity services, we did $10,000 per year, which I think matched what GMS was doing, if I remember correctly.
$3,000 more than GMS.
Oh, it was more than that. Okay, so even more relevant than so with that sort of, and just giving context, that sort of a proposal and expectation from our perspective is generally speaking about 4 or 5 hours a week. She's doing like 12 hours a week, which again, I know we're always going to have ebb and flow. We've had a lot of kind of incidents where putting together reports, reviewing videos, it's something that, number 1, there's improvement that we can make that we need to, and I'll talk to her about that, and we're getting her help in addition. But I do want to mention it's taking a lot of time.
So, okay, from my previous experience in this report, I know that Kevin, when he submits a report,
Sure.
his letter support, he submitted with like a detail.
Yeah, I'm a little confused as to, because maybe I'm forgetting what she might be doing to spend that amount of time. And we hadn't had a single amenity incident until 2 weeks ago, now we have 8. I've done an extremely detailed level of work, we have
Yeah.
not seen a single one of them turn around yet.
Well,
And the other issue that she might have had to deal with was the audible system not working since October 13th, which ended up me having to call Complete IT and getting it fixed in a 2-minute phone call. And so, I mean, I have kept my frustrations from anyone and everyone,
Yeah.
including you. But,
Well-
what's she doing with all this time?
Well, I can give you some details to that. I mean, we could give you a log of how many amenity rentals and fobs.
Okay.
That's easy.
Okay.
You know, that's easy. And that'll give you some detail of at least that sort of volume. As far as the incident reports, you do provide a great level of detail. She does review all of it. She does go through the videos, the timestamps that you give, and she also, like for example, with the sheriff's department, she also spoke with the sheriff's department, provided them with information. So, you know, again, there's different volumes that are going to happen, but I mean, I can tell you, she's been doing a lot. As far as, and I know we had a conversation about this offline, but as far as the call down, we let them know that back in October. And I've reached out probably 4 additional times. I can show you texts and emails. So, and that wasn't on her because I'm the one that reached out. So.
See, well, what I'm saying is with that, Andy, you know, a week ago I responded to the chain about that and said, I haven't heard anything, can I please have an update?
Yeah.
I didn't get a response. Then I sent another email a half a week later and I just said, can you give me Complete IT's phone number as well as the instructions for adjusting the time from Brevo,
Yeah.
just in case I need to take care of it myself. And then another half week later, no responses anywhere in between. Another half week later I said, can you, again, where does this stand? Can you just send me the Complete IT information as well as the Brevo thing? No response. So then I called them. I spoke to and introduced myself to both their tech support person.
Right.
I asked them what was going on, and they dug in a little bit. Turned out it was his mistake on dropping the ball on you. But in the 5 minutes of my phone call with him, the first 5 minutes, it was turned back on,
Yeah.
and the times were adjusted. So,
Well, I agree with the responsiveness. She should be responding within 24 hours. I agree with you 100% on
Let
that.
me tell you something. I sent her 3 emails since we started with that.
Yeah.
All of them from the emails and you were copying every single
Mm-hmm.
one.
Yep.
And the reason I copy you because I knew she would never respond.
Okay.
And I never got a response today.
Yeah, and that's not correct. So that will be
And
fixed.
I'm not, see this 24-hour thing, like, I don't really care about that. You
Yeah.
can give me an answer in 2, 3, 4 days, I'm good with it, as long as you give me.
Yeah.
Everybody's busy, and I know you
Oh,
don't,
yeah, yeah.
have only this community, you don't have only this community. Since we can communicate, well,
Yeah.
like I sent an email that I sent you, like, since we started with you guys and no response, so I wasn't the only one too, so, okay. It's no problem, I mean, I just
Yeah.
respond to the email and that's it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agreed. I think that, you know, as far as responsiveness, that has to happen. 100%. Like there's no excuse.
It's completely fine. Anything else? No.
Okay. No other supervisor requests in
Oh,
general?
I just want to say, remember the water leak in the ceiling, and the stains in the ceiling in the women's bathroom that Heather pointed out at the end of last meeting to you?
Yeah.
Make sure you add that to the list.
Yep.
So we have a leak, stains in the ceiling, so that comes from something, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean a leak, it could have been a pipe thing or whatever, but it should be evaluated because if it's an ongoing thing.
All right.
Yep. All right. Resident comments. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 920 Windless Cove. I just wanted to mention to you guys, just be careful when you're looking at the decoration for landscaping around the walls and fences. There is stuff written in our decorations for the community. Not our regulations, the decorations has landscaping called out what has to be around the edges and the edges on the walls.
Okay. What is it? I'm missing.
So you were talking about earlier pulling trees out, putting siding.
Uh-huh.
In our decorations, community community decorations, which can encompass HOA and CDD.
It's a declaration.
Decorations, there's a section in there for landscaping.
No.
What has to be covered around the walls, yes.
Around what?
The walls.
The walls and fences.
So, well, the thing is, even if it's.
No, it's,
Yeah, wait a
it's
second,
rules.
wait a second. You see, rules, HOA have nothing to do with CDD. It's all property.
But this is not HOA rules, this is community decorations for Isles of Bayview. Not HOA, nothing. CDD, because it talks about amenities.
Declaration still belongs to the HOA,
HOA.
right? Because that's Isles of Bayview, this is Eagle Point
But see,
Community
it's
Development.
still, it refers to.
Yeah,
Yes,
but that's the deed restricted part of the community that the governmental district technically is
It talks
not.
about common area.
But the CD, yeah, every declaration does, but that doesn't mean you have it. It talks about amenities, but the HOA doesn't have amenities.
Yeah, so what it is.
It's just a generalized.
Declaration is
Where
like.
did you see this? Where was this posted?
It's in the decorations section, like 10 or 11 or 12 in the decorations. Please read it, that's all I'm asking.
No, it's fine. It's
That's all I'm
fine.
asking.
Brian, do you have anything to weigh in on that?
So usually HOA declarations only apply.
This is not HOA, this is,
No, it
Yes,
is. If it's a declaration,
declaration
it's,
is HOA.
it's filed, if you go with Eagle Point, it's filed under Eagle Point.
Take a look.
Sure. Let's just take a look at it.
Please, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
All right, we good?
Any other resident comments in the room?
Yes, let's
All right.
look into that.
Let me just, we have a couple folks on the Teams call. Any questions, audience comments from the Teams call? Okay, hearing none, we are at item 9, which is adjournment.
So moved.
All right, and do we have a second?
I second.
All right, all in favor? Okay, meeting is adjourned.
No, bye. Bye.
That's a bit.
I call it. Mark the time.
Have a good night. Hey, Martin?
Yes.
I was looking at the,
I'm an engineer, and I'm just like.
the sign-in.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, it's, so like he said, it really is, if you type in outlook.com, okay, if you type that in, and then it'll take you to this screen, and then if you just do sign in, because I tested this
I'll
out.
see you in.
Okay, so it's have a good night. Yeah, Outlook. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's gonna take you to this screen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna add.
You're gonna put the first line in that one. And when you hit next, you'll hit next, and it's gonna ask you for the second line, the password, and then it's gonna open up.
Okay.
I checked it earlier.
Okay.
I was surprised because I thought
'Cause
you
I-
needed like a server.
I went to just use Outlook, and it's Outlook.
Do Outlook.com.
Okay.
You probably can use Outlook, but maybe you have to.
Just go out.
Yeah, one way or the other, right?
I heard it crack just a second ago and I moved it again.
Andy, the volunteer waiver thing, is
Yeah.
that added to the website? Where does one get that?
I'll see if it's on the
I was just
website.
thinking that, since, like my wife and Gina are kind of like setting up a Christmas tree or something, we
Yep.
should probably do the volunteer waiver.
I feel like it's on the website, but I'll double check.
Okay.
And if it's not, we'll put it out there.
On the website, nothing in my mind tells me that it is, that's why I just wanted to confirm.
I feel like I saw it there. Yes, sir.
Request now? What request have we got now?
Which one?
Here's one from
Oh, same thing, pretty much just a shorter time period.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Have a good night, right?
Yeah, have a good one. Good seeing you. No. All right. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate you.
So he was riding that bike today, the one he threw in.
Oh, I know who the kids are.
Everyone knows who the kids are.
My niece knows who the kids
Can I
are.
send you the receipts, like a copy of them?
Yeah.
I don't have to give you the original, right?
No, I hate originals. I don't like paper, so anything electronic is always going to be better.
I was in a police report because I'm like, kid, you didn't lock your body.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And it wasn't until everyone started hitting me.
Because it's the larger scheme of trying to document things. guess one thing that comes out of tonight is, look, if you see something or know something and you're afraid to come out with it, there's nothing I can do for you.
I know. And I appreciate you sending me, help with what you did.
Yeah, I mean, they have everything they need to go and.
Well, later he came back, but like I said, he called me that afternoon, he goes, we haven't seen the video yet. I'm going, but I have an email that says, Kai did it. I have an email from the CDD chair that he did it.
Successful, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, give me a second. He came back a few minutes later, oh, it is. But then nothing else has happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they get around to it because it's going to be an easier case for them.
But technically, the bicycle rack's on CDD property.
Well, that's why I push our people to get my money on this, and let's go. So yeah, and I said the same thing to Brian. I said, don't get too frustrated with me when I'm frustrated with anybody else.
Yeah, not a problem.
I just say what I say, but I think I'm just sometimes direct.
Yeah, well, I get what you were saying. I
appreciate
get your point about Michelle's response. I almost wanted to, when Brian was explaining, I wanted to jump in. This is an easy fix. Answer, then advise.
Yeah. I mean, I actually sitting there debating with myself. Am I gonna sound too much like an asshole if I say, can you just answer, then comment?
No, I mean,
answer and then opinion.
I can tell you, even like talking to George, I want a yes, no answer. And I have to.
I want both.
I know, but I
Not
just
just the second
no,
half.
I want yes, no. Did we do right? Did we do wrong?
Yeah.
First answer this, then you can tell me your opinion. But I never get it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
always,
Yes. But if I say, is it legal for me to wear or carry a camera if I interact with people at the pool? And the answer includes nothing about that. We shouldn't be interacting with people at the pool. You're my attorney, answer the question.
yes, that's what we're paying for you.
And because I know all these people, they're actually going to be pissing on me for this. I really appreciate your input and your whatever. Your opinions are great. I still have a question though. Is it okay to wear?
And that's the reason why I think the best thing would have happened is you guys record the meetings every time you see. Then there's no question, he said, she said.
Well, that's one of the reasons I'm not gonna lie to you. One of the reasons I want crisp recording and video is to stop the bullshit with the Japanese that they on this board.
Oh, yeah.
At least if people can go see it, because people have gone, tried to, you provided it, the link is good for like 3 days, so it's not like the whole community gets to see it.
Yep.
The link expires. And they listen to it. I can't hear anything. I hear Andy perfectly, and then I can't hear the person in the audience.
Yeah,
and
it's
I can't
not
hear.
great.
So we're gonna fix that,
Yeah,
So
makes it
thank
a lot
you.
easier. Yeah.
Thank you for the heads up on your driving problems as well.
Oh, yeah, no
I
worries.
was gonna get back here and set up, but then I had to bring my daughter somewhere. So.
Yeah, it was, I got lucky. I mean, it was great when I got to the accident. It cleared up like 100 feet after it. And it wasn't even, like I said, it wasn't even on my side of the highway, so.
Well, I'm glad you weren't the one involved in what that happened.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate that. Have a good night.
It was too expensive, so for Black Friday, we answered. 61% off our functional coffee. Not enough? Fine.
In the early morning hours of July 1st, 2023, in Daytona Beach, Florida, firefighters were dispatched to a house engulfed in flames. When they reached the scene, they made a horrifying discovery. The body of 79-year-old Michael Sarasoli lying on the second floor with multiple fatal stab wounds and severe head trauma. Nearby, a pile of clothes was smoldering, a sign that someone may have deliberately set the fire to destroy evidence. The suspect was quickly identified as Nicole Max, the victim's roommate. She was not at the scene, but shortly afterward, police found Max walking barefoot, covered in blood, and attempting to discard a knife and a blood-stained hammer.
So, signal 5 suspect.
That's fine too.
Oh, you medical or anything or no? No.
No, I don't have my ticket.
How are you?
Just fine. I'm 11, and then they pulled me over.
Who did?
I think they already left, the guy that did. He saw me at 7-Eleven though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then some other guy came talking to me. So,
Where are you staying on today?
down the street.
So you said you were coming from the B side?
Yeah.
Did you go to, you didn't go to the clubs, did you?
No.
How old are you?
35.
35?
Yeah.
I was thinking more 25, 26.
Okay, no, 35.
Really? But anyways, so there was an incident earlier today, and you may have witnessed it. So we're not sure. And,
Okay, I always say to myself, so I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm always by myself, 24/7.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't talk to anybody at all. Nothing.
Where were you at on Beachside?
I just went over the bridge a little bit, and then I walked around, and that was it.
Just walk around.
Yeah,
that's it?
like the shorts and stuff where I got those from somebody at the park and stuff.
What park?
I don't know. It was out this way. I just was walking here or something.
I'm gonna ask a crazy question. What's your first name again? Nicole. Do you remember my name?
No.
Joey.
Yeah. I told you I posted my extra, so I don't remember
That's
things.
okay. All right. So when you left the house today to go to the bridge, right? What time was that?
I'm homeless. Like I just.
You're homeless?
Yeah.
Okay. So important. Okay.
I haven't been around anybody
Okay.
at all. I've been completely by myself. So, and I'm okay.
Do you know where?
So you're from Michigan and Kalamazoo?
Can I drive you to your house over here then?
I don't have a house.
I thought you said you stay over there next
No,
door.
I said I'm homeless. I just over here.
Okay. Is there anything? Can I take you to the shelter? I'm going to show you a photo.
There's
Tell me
one
if
right
it's-
here. What's up?
Wow.
Yeah, for Jesus Christ.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
Can you tell me? So there's somebody. I'm going to show you a photo of. Tell me if this person looks familiar.
I don't know anybody. Hell no. No. Oh no, nobody. Like query concealed weapon permit.
No, that's just.
Generate photo lineup. Why would I know someone in a lineup?
Oh no, that's just a photo. Don't the words the boxes underneath.
I have
the
posted my
tabs.
extras, but I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I gotta be around. Let me see. What's his name?
This is before I pulled the suit up, right?
What I'm trying to say is I know you shot Chris.
I did not shoot him.
I
did not shoot him. No.
On July 18th, 2018, Holly Osborne called 911, claiming that she had just found her husband's body lying in his bed, with several gunshot wounds to the upper body. The police noticed that Holly appeared intoxicated, so she was brought in for interrogation.
Holly, when was the last time you slept?
To be honest with you.
Okay. Did you sleep last night though?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember it. All I remember is shock when I opened up the bedroom door. So obviously I wasn't in there because I would have known something.
Right. So
obviously we need to talk about what's going on today. So let's start with last